Okay, I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to be telling you about YouTube data, but maybe most importantly about data analysis in general, because we will see today that, of course, we will see how to collect data from YouTube, but maybe what I hope will stick the most is the ideas behind, like the methodology that we will use to both collect data but also to analyze the data. And so, as always, maybe there are like some notebooks that I prepared, and I prepared a folder. Then let's see if you should already be able to see it. I will give you the link soon. Let's maybe not focus too much on the details on the code. Okay, you can ask me if you want, but the most important thing is like, okay, I have one problem, one question, something that I want to know. How can I find some answers to that? Okay, so it's the path very important. Then we have, to those of you that were already at the winter school, we have seen that tools like Gemini, ChatGPT, and all those kind of tools really help in writing the code. But like the path, that leads you from your research question to the results, it's really what matters. Okay, so let's get started without further ado. And okay, the agenda, what we will be covering today at a high level. First of all, let's have an introduction, some words about all the context that we need. The first big block, an important block, will be related to YouTube data access. Okay, there are a few details that we will cover, especially about the terms of service of YouTube. And since I know the platform from, let's say, a computer science perspective quite well, I can tell you, let's say, all the limitations, all the things that you can do, all the gray areas in scraping and so on. Then we will analyze the data. About that, I have just a couple of slides, and then we will try to, first of all, collect a data set. So together, I prepared a notebook in which step by step we will be collecting some YouTube data set, okay? A small one, just for demonstration, but the scale then you can let's say collect as much information as you want then. We will see that sometimes something strange happens, and we will discuss together why and how to deal with that. And by the end of the session, basically, you will be able to both collect a YouTube dataset, but also to do a first analysis on that. Then I will also discuss something, let's say, more advanced in some sense, and okay, now we have done this, which may be further direction, can we do more, how, which are the tools? So that's going to be more of an open discussion. And then, of course, 2 words of conclusions, especially regarding what we have done, what we have learned, which doubts we have, and so on. So there is a link that now I will copy on the chat. Let me do this 1 second. I probably will need to share in a second. Okay, where I put all the material that I will present you today. So there are the slides, there are the notebooks, there are even the data sets. Okay, just to be sure, I already put everything there. So try to access it. Okay, tell me if there are problems so I can, fix them right away. You should be able to see them. I set as viewers. Okay, so you should all be able to access the folder. Can you just tell me if you see some files? There should be SheCom YouTube channels, YouTube online training, PPT X. Okay. So, the presentation is YouTube online training. Okay. There are all the slides that I will be using. Then there are 3 notebooks. There is the one, search for content, collect statistics, and then collect and analyze. Okay. Those are the 3 notebooks we will go through together. And then there are already the data sets, so you will be able to collect them as well. Okay, but just to be sure, I put them there, so we have them as well. I will restart sharing now, and then for a while I will be talking before let's say, switching to Colab. Okay, so give me just a few seconds. Swap presenter view. Okay. And let's get started. Okay, I think you see again my presentation. So we are all set. Okay, perfect. So let's start with the introduction. Okay, so the aim of this introduction is like to state the objectives of the session and to discuss about, okay, YouTube. Which kind of data can we get from YouTube? Okay, so again, if I should state in one sentence what is the objective of this session, is like understanding how to collect, okay, to process and analyze YouTube data using Python. Okay, so collect is really how we get from, our PC to some YouTube data. Okay, so which is the way in which we can take those data from somewhere. Okay, so how can we do that? Okay, well, the how is going to be through an API. Okay, what is an API? Probably some of you may remember it, but we will briefly say that again, and I'll make an example that will probably stick, and then you will never forget it. And then, can we do more? So, which kind of things more advanced can we do? So today we are going to stick with the basics in some sense, but I will already point you to some more advanced things, okay? Then the ideas are always the same. It's just a matter of, okay, let's start with some reasonable things and then slowly build upon what we learn. Okay, then there is the part of process and analyze. So at this point, we will be getting the data, but we have these strange files. And having the file is not enough. You need to know how to look into the files, what to do, how to visualize patterns, how to act on the files, okay? And usually there are some steps. One is pre-process the data, okay? So you have gathered the data, and then you have to do some sort of manipulation before even starting, okay? That's really the step 0. Then, when the data is prepared, it makes sense, okay? We will understand what makes sense means with examples. We can analyze the data, okay? But then analyzing is not enough. Like if I get statistics like mean, variances, whatever, okay. But what's really important is like, okay, I want to see something visual. I want to have a visual idea of what's going on, okay? And Python is really powerful in doing that. Just writing a line, you really get, some deeper understanding of your data. Okay, it's important to see, okay, what should I expect from this section? Okay, so by the end of the section, what would I expect from it? Okay, so first block is YouTube data collection. Okay, so by the end of the session, you will be able to collect data from YouTube using the API. Okay, and you will be able also to collect your probably very own YouTube dataset. Okay, so with the code that we will look together, you will be able to collect data and have a file in which you have your dataset. Okay, and maybe the most important part, the one that it's, let's say, a bit scattered online. It needs some experience to really understand what can you do and what you cannot do. It's like understand the API limitations. So you can get some data, you cannot get all the data that you can imagine, okay? And that part we will discuss. It's simple. It's really just a matter of understanding what you can do. We will go through it together, and then you will have a first, let's say, a first experience in data analysis, okay? So you collected your own YouTube dataset, and then, okay, let's try to manipulate it, okay? So we will clean the data, we will try to compute some metrics. Most interestingly, we will look at some visualization, and then looking at those visualization, we can even make, um, some conclusions, some observation about the data, about the behavior of the channels that we will be seeing. Okay, again, I said API maybe 10 times, but just to be sure, what is an API? Okay, API stands for Application Programming Interface. Okay, probably not very clear still. Actually, an API is just a set of rules that allows different systems to communicate. I think it's not clear yet. An API, you can imagine it as a waiter in a restaurant, okay? Because you go to a restaurant and you would like to order food, okay? But you don't have, I mean, you cannot go to the chef and talk directly to the chef, right? You have a menu and you have some coded dishes, and you just take the menu and you communicate with the waiter. Okay, I would like to have I don't know, some noodles. Okay, that is your API. It's something that allows you to communicate with a more complex system. Okay, and in our case, it's just an interface to YouTube. Okay, so we are here. We would like to collect some data, but we cannot phone YouTube and just say, okay, give me the data. We need a way. We need this kind of API to say, okay, I would like some kind of data. I want to get it. Okay, and this type, again, simple analogy is waiter in a restaurant. Okay, you are the client and you place an order, so you want to get the data, you want to get your meal. Okay, the waiter, that is the API, is your interface. Okay, so delivers the order to the kitchen, and the kitchen is the server. So in our case, the kitchen is YouTube. So you ask for the data and you get the data back. So the API is this nice middleware between you and the data. And of course, the kitchen prepares the food. Okay, so YouTube collects the data and delivers the data. But okay, why looking at YouTube data in particular? Well, the data availability of YouTube is massive because YouTube is a platform that has been around for decades. It has been widely used, is used even today by billions of users. So why not looking at YouTube? It's like a very valuable source of information. What is also interesting is that YouTube has a variety of sources, okay? Because it has some what are called structured data. So you have some kind of tables with how many views a video received, how many likes, when the video has been posted online. So you have all these kind of contextual information that may be extremely valuable. Then you have even textual data. For those that were at the Winter School, we have been working a lot on textual data. So you have the titles, you have the descriptions, you have the comments. I mean, you have a great deal of interaction that happens with text. And then you have the media, because YouTube, of course, is a platform in which people load their videos, their speeches over some kind of slides, whatever. Okay, that's very rich, but has some big limitations in collecting those kind of data, and we will see them together. Of course, YouTube is relevant for anything. I mean, I put there just 3 entries, but I could have put there, I don't know, 20. It's important for social analysis, is important for marketing, is important for research, even for teaching purposes. I mean, when I need to learn something new, I go first on YouTube and I find some lectures, some sessions, some short videos explaining whatever. So it's so rich that, I mean, we should at least be able to know how to look at it. And yeah, the question is really, what would you like to collect or measure from YouTube. So how would you apply that to your research, to your interest and whatever? Okay. So YouTube data are divided mainly in three different categories, let's say. Okay. The first one is metadata. What are metadata? Well, metadata are all those contextual information associated to a particular video. Okay. So, for example, the video title is some piece of metadata. The timestamp, so the date in which that video has been published, is again metadata. The views, the likes, the channel name, let's say all the information that is not media, so it's not either audio or video, is metadata. And that's a huge, very rich source of information, okay? Then we said there is the textual data. For example, each channel, I mean, typically the channels have some kind of description that say, okay, this channel is all about the new science advancements, and I would like to, develop videos weekly to inform you about the new developments. There we have again, some very nice information. And then you have the comments. The comments are, again, the interaction of the users. So you have somebody that replies to a certain video, all the replies that particular comment then sparks. And again, it's something that may be interesting. And then we have the media. So we have video files and we have audio tracks. Well, you can see those as a user, but the term of service of YouTube poses serious limitation on the collection of those. We will see what we can do to circumvent that. And there are usually a couple of interesting ways in which you can still comply to the terms of service of YouTube to get some, let's say, some rich data, even from the audio and video perspective. So what can you do? Okay, so we understood that we have to communicate in some sense with an API. The API provides us the way of communicating in some sense with the data that YouTube stores. But okay, practically, what can I do? So first of all, you can search by keyword. In particular, if you are interested in a topic, a series of topic, a particular event, or whatever, you can do a search by keyword, pretty much like you do in the bar when you go on YouTube, right? Because when you go on YouTube, you have your, let's say, your interface, you have your magnifying lens as usual. You can put there whatever you want to search for. I don't know, the last football match, the first thing that comes to my mind. Okay, you can maybe see some videos, commentaries, or the highlights of the match or whatever. You can do that, of course, with Python, so programmatically in a more standard way, and we will see how to do that. And for these videos that you retrieve with your research, you can get all the metadata that you see on the YouTube page. So you can get, of course, the titles, all the context. So you can get likes, views, time it has been published, by which channel, okay? And from that, you can derive statistics. So imagine that you're interested in, okay, there are this bunch of channels. They are all very similar, but there is one that for some reason always gets more views. Okay, why? When? It's because the timing is more appropriate, is because they are posting more frequently. You can get, a sense of what's going on, okay, with the numbers. And then you have comments, okay? Again, here, I would like to stress that there is a limit. We will better understand that, okay? So the idea is there, the API is your waiter, okay? You can interact with your waiter, but in some sense, you cannot ask too much, okay? And the API quota, what I call here API quota, is exactly that. So you can ask for the videos regarding some topic. You can do it multiple times because maybe you want many videos. You want to collect a large data set. Okay, you have some limits, okay, because YouTube does not want that people, get all their data at once. Okay, they put some limit in the asking of the data. And I mean, there are some numbers you see there that you have 10,000 units per day. Okay, it's not really clear, but later we will see in practice what does it mean. Okay, for example, if you want to do a simple read, so for example, you have a video and you would like to know how many views, how many likes, when it has been published, that counts as 1 unit. So it's like one question, okay? Whereas searches are much more expensive, okay? Because every search that you do, so whenever you would like to search for, let's say, a particular series of videos associated with a keyword, the keyword may be last day football match, that's more expensive. So that's that's exactly 100 units, okay? We will understand later what does it mean. And of course, that's reset every day. So imagine you would like to collect a very large data set. Okay, one day you start collecting your data and you reach the limit. So you ask too much. Okay, doesn't matter. You just have to wait. The day after, you can start fresh again. It happened for me very many times that I reached the quota because I was downloading a lot of things. Maybe I was making mistakes. But then you just have to pause, have a break, and start again the day after. Okay, so just be mindful of this limit. Okay, what's more important to understand and what I really want that sticks after this session is what you cannot do. Okay, there are some things that you are not able to do, or at least there are workarounds, but you cannot do directly with the YouTube API. So through the official API, you don't have access to the videos and the audios. And that's a pity in some sense, right? Because we were thinking, okay, YouTube, I would like to have all the content that's possible, right? You cannot even get the transcript. Well, again, there are many asterisks because if you're a YouTube user, then we will see also an example in the slide. Maybe you already know that there are the subtitles or there is already available a transcript. I mean, what I wanted to do as I first started working with YouTube was, okay, there is a transcript there. I would like to have it. So I don't even have to, do difficult processes, pre-process to go from the audio to the text. I have it already there. I can already, process my text that I know how to do. You cannot do it through the API, but there is one way in which you can do it, okay? And we will look at it together. So if you don't follow these rules, so of course, whenever there are some limitation, there are some third parties, there are some let's say external developers that, okay, there's a limitation. I would like anyways to get those data. So there are many tools that allow you to download the videos and the audio of a certain content. Okay, well, that is against the term of service of YouTube. Of course, if you do it in the search environment and you don't exploit commercially, they probably will not, it won't have big legal implication. But again, I will suggest you not to do that, okay, and use cleaner ways because there are still ways in which you can get, for example, YouTube videos without infringing the term of service. Because, warning, you may face some kind of legal issues, okay? I promise you that something else is indeed possible, okay? So you can circumvent this problem. Well, imagine you want to get the audio track, or better, the script of, say, 100 videos. That is already like a large, let's say, collection of videos. That's a bit boring, but if you go on the videos and you manually get the transcript, there is a little button that we will see together in which you can say download transcript. From there, you can get the transcript, and that's not against the term of service. So you already have a way that is, let's say, less comfortable comparing to using Python, that it's really simple, really straightforward, but you can get some rich kind of information. Of course, you can do whatever you want with your uploaded videos. I will show you that I have just one uploaded video that I needed to do for a challenge in the past, and with that I can do whatever I want, okay? And as well yours, but it's not so interesting. I mean, it's your video, you already know the content. It may be interesting if you're a teacher. If you're a teacher that has some videos on YouTube, maybe you can already, get the transcript for free and have some notes about your lecture. So I wanted to mention it, but from the research point of view, it's not that interesting. You may be focusing on certain videos that have a Creative Commons license, okay? So Creative Commons is a license that is really loose, allows you basically to reuse all the content and everything. But again, you cannot get direct access through the API. You should contact, for example, the creator, and that may be bothering, okay? Or that's probably the, let's say, most convenient way of getting videos, even already ordered, grouped by keyword and so on. There are some publicly available collections. For example, this YouTube 8M. You can click on this link. It sends you straight to the data set, and there we have, I don't know, millions of YouTube videos that you can access, and that's perfectly fine with the YouTube terms of service. Okay. As I was mentioning, there is a gray area in scraping. So usually researchers use some kind of third-party tools that allow you to download specific videos. So if you really would like to download a video, you can use this YT-DLP, which will allow you to download the video. I will not tell you how to use it because, again, it's in a gray area. It's not really compliant with the term of service, but in some cases, you, let's say, are more entitled to use that because you're doing research, okay? So you're not commercially exploiting the content on YouTube. It's not complying with the term of service, but, it does not exist formally a research exception, but in many conferences, I have seen researchers that have been downloading YouTube videos because you're doing something that is usually socially important. And even if you're not entitled from the contract point of view, they will not, let's say, legally persecute you, okay? The risks may be, that your API connection, so this kind of interface that you have with YouTube data, will not longer be available because YouTube says, okay, you are doing some nasty stuff. I don't give you anything, okay? Or if you are writing a paper on that, if you are doing something that YouTube does not really like, they may ask you for, retracting the paper. But all the things that we will do today together, and you will see that it's a great deal of work, it's compliant with the term of service. So everything you will do with me, you will not have any problems, and you will see how much and how rich the information that you can get for free from YouTube. Okay, so this is just a summary table. Okay, it's basically all what I told you. There are various forms of the data. There is the video. There are the frames. The frames is like the single pictures that make up the video. You have the audio and so on. All these cannot be accessed directly with the API, But we will focus on transcripts that, I mean, as I told you, you cannot get directly from the API, but you can easily download. And the good thing about that is that you don't have to go from video to text, okay? Because analyzing the audio track, the speech, for example, it's not that easy. I mean, there are ways, and I know that there is a session on that. Uh, but I mean, sometimes you can get already the transcript, so the audio already transformed into text for free, and then you can do whatever analysis you want, right? And then we will look at the metadata and all, let's say, the contextual information that I told you. So we will be getting the titles, tags, all types of statistics, and we will get them through the API, compliant with the term of service, and using Python. As always, I provide you the notebooks. So again, if you want to do some specific analysis, you already have a blueprint of what you can do. And now we know how and which kind of data we can get from YouTube, but I mean, it's probably more interesting to know how we can do them, okay? So let's dive into the accessing the YouTube data through the API, okay? So the official name of the API that we will be using is a bit longer, okay, because it's not the first release. So it's YouTube Data API v3, okay, probably the third version, okay. And as I was telling you, the API basically provides you some functions, okay, some ways of getting the data. So there is again the example of the waiter at the restaurant. It's like, okay, the items on the menu are the dishes that you can ask to the kitchen to be prepared. There is this quota limit, so you can make some requests, but don't exaggerate. I mean, at some point you may hit let's say a hard limit in which the API tells you, okay, you asked too much, come back tomorrow. Okay, we will understand how to assess that. But it's more interesting to understand what we can get from the API, okay? So what is the actual data we can have then on our machine, and we can look at it, we can analyze. The final goal of this session is to analyze the data. So search, whatever you want to search on, because imagine YouTube is a huge source of information. You have, I don't know, decades of videos that have been uploaded there. You have to somehow, you cannot get all of it, okay? It's unreasonable. You won't even have some storage to locate all, I mean, to save all those data. So you want to research something really specific. The example that we will be doing later is like, take the last 100 videos of some scientific YouTubers, okay? So YouTubers that talk about the latest scientific discoveries or some scientific interesting facts, okay? So for example, your keywords may be scientific video, okay? And so you can do the search within the API to get some type of scientific videos. Then you can get all the metadata. So for these particular videos, you can get, okay, how many views? So how popular are these videos? How many likes? So how much engaged the particular user base is to for that video? Okay, and then you have the comments. Okay, so again, the interaction, as we said before. Okay, the first important thing is create an API key. I know that you have already done that. I mean, for those of you that were in the winter school, you have already done that. So you should have it. But the following slides are for you to follow. Okay, so I mean, you have access to the slides. So just open up the slides, or to be well, if I can even paste to the chat. the link, go to the link that I just pasted, okay, and follow what I have on this slide. So go to this link, okay, and select a Google account. You should have one. I think you have, okay. For example, this one is this Frank Galante, okay. So you just select your Google account, and then you are prompted to select or create a new project, okay. I mean, I encourage you to try to do that. If you have problem, it should be easy, but it's very easy to get lost. Okay, so if you are getting lost, just write a message in the chat. Let's try to figure it out. Okay, I will wait just a few seconds for you to do, let's say, these first two steps. Okay, so when you created the new project, you should search for YouTube Data API Wo3. Okay, so in the search bar, just write exactly there, YouTube Data API Wo3. That, as I told you, is the long name of the official API of YouTube. Okay, and you should see it as the top result. You see there, even on my slide, that you have API and you have YouTube Data API Wo3. Okay, just click on that. Do you see something like this? Okay, something that tells you, okay, you should enable the YouTube Data API Wo3. Any of you that tells me that, okay, we are on track or we are completely lost? Even on the chat, you can just say everything is all right or please help me. I have a problem. Okay. I don't know if you can unmute yourself. I'll be happy to, try to. I cannot hear you so far.
Okay, I will tell right now. When I want to create a new project, it asks parent resource.
It asks what? Sorry?
When I create a new project, it asks parent resource. Let me, I don't know, I can share my screen or not.
Yeah, I think so.
Let me try it. Okay, I'm sharing.
Yes, thanks. Okay.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Like it's when I try to create new project, it asks here.
Yeah, try to create it without putting anything, or is it mandatory?
It's mandatory, not.
Okay.
I'm canceling. I will try again.
Yeah, let's see it together.
Okay, new project. Okay.
Okay, whatever name.
Maybe I don't need to put name. I can say my project.
Yeah, but probably the try to do browse. Okay. Okay, let's see. Try to select no organization.
No, it doesn't select.
Search folders. That's really strange. Do you have Google Drive by chance? Probably yes, right?
Sorry?
Well, let's try to fix it on the fly. Worst case, I mean, let's take a couple of minutes to try to do that together. Worst case, there's always a plan
I'm starting
B.
the sharing.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I was saying, worst case, you can use my key, okay? Because on the notebooks that you have my API key, okay? And you should be able to use that, okay? Okay, so let's try to understand what's going on. that happens to all of you, or was somebody able to finish up the procedure?
Happened to me as well.
Okay.
So where did you browse for YouTube API? I missed that point. Maybe you don't have to create a new project.
No, I mean, I did it yesterday, so I created for example, the YADESA online, but maybe, I may have some different organization that are embedded, so that may be blocking. So let's see. I'm gonna look at the problem is, what was it called? The parent folder in, okay. So we'll try to replicate the problem. Okay, so I'm not sharing, but just bear with me 1 second. So create an API key. Okay, so the fact in my understanding is that let me whoever was sharing before can share it again. So let's try to see on your machine. Oh, okay, we have somebody raising their hands. Yes, please.
I think if you use I created my project, but if you use Google Chrome, you can
Okay.
create it. If you are using a different browser, it's very difficult. But with Google Chrome, I was able to create mine.
Okay, very good. I mean, indeed, I use Google Chrome for mine. So I don't know if you have Google Chrome, all of you. Maybe switch to that and follow the exact same procedure. And doing those, create a new project, enable the API, you should be able to do that. Okay. Just heads up to those that have been able to create it, to say, okay, still same issue, but I have problem as well. One of you that shares the screen, and let's see if we can fix it. Otherwise, again, try to use my key and it's okay. I mean, these are problems that can happen and are probably not central to this section. So, for example, the guy that was sharing before, if you can share it again 1 second, and let's see. Okay. 12 pressuring. Okay. So try to go to, let's just go to let's cancel it. Okay. From down, you have the create and okay. Select a project because you have already created many. You have, okay.
Should I go here, new project?
Yes.
Okay. Then I have this page, and if I say
Current
create,
resource.
just gives me
select the organization or folder where the resource will be created. Okay. You cannot click that, right?
No, I can't. It doesn't let me.
Okay, so let's do like this. We continue, and if you can, you use my key. Okay, you have it in clear on the notebooks, and in the 10 minutes break, I will sort it out and I will tell you how to fix it. Okay, so we don't waste too much time on that. Okay, so you can follow it without any problems. You will see, and later we'll try to sort it out. Okay, to the others that were able to create the key, perfect. Okay, you will follow me even better. Okay, so let's start. Let's resume. Okay, I will share again my screen. Okay. Okay. So you should see again my screen now, and I have a couple of more slides, so you will follow me without any problems, and then we'll switch to Google Colab. But I mean, I will still go through every part with you, so there's not gonna be any problems. Well, as I was telling you, I have just one YouTube video that has not been watched by anyone. It was just for, passing the first year of PhD. And I took it because I have no problem with anything since it's my content and I can show you without worrying. And I mean, if you're not familiar with YouTube, you have the top part in which you have the video. For example, here it was me speaking about some opinion dynamics model that I was developing. But then you have all those rich kind of contextual information I was mentioning, because you can see that on the middle left, you have Franco Galante, which is me, and in that case, it's also the channel name. You have the title, so Modeling Communication Asymmetry on Online Social Networks. You have the number of likes. Well, I didn't even expect to have one, but in this case, you have one. Usually, you have many more when you see some relevant videos. You have the timestamp, you have the number of views. If you have some comments, you see them as well. Okay. And, by looking at the page, okay, you have all the information, but what we want is like have a programmatic way to get that type of information. Okay. An important mention is, you see there, transcript. Okay. There is the thing that I was mentioning at the beginning. If you want to get the text from the audio, so the transcript of the audio of the particular video, many times you can just go on the video and you can do show transcript and you will see exactly what has been said during the video. And that's a really interesting source of information, because from there you already have the text to whatever audio you want to get, right? Okay, so let's get a little bit more technical. And here we have the three methods that we need and that we will use, okay, for getting data from YouTube. And the first one is search.list, okay? That's just the name, okay? As I was telling you, that's the way in which you search for content, okay? So you want to get some particular stuff and you can use that instruction to talk to the API, okay? Then you have video.list. And as we said, okay, once you search the video, what you really want are all the statistics, all the metrics, all the context. And this particular function allows you to get, for example, the views on a certain video. And then you have the comments. So with comment threads.list, you can get all the comments that are below a certain video. We will see examples of that in 1 second. Again, always be mindful about the quota, because you may exceed it very briefly. So every search you do, you use 100 units of quota and you just have 10,000 of those. So if you are not mindful, and I tell you how to be mindful about the quota, you may consume it very soon, and then you have to wait. Whereas the video list and the comment threads are lighter, because they, let's say, eat just one unit of quota. Okay, well, the video has a title, and I told you that you can get information from a video, but I mean, probably when you when you deal with API, when you deal with programming, when you deal with Python, you are not really using the title of the video. You should have something that is unique. And here you see that on the very URL, so the little thing that comes on Google Chrome when you are on a certain page, you can see that there is a strange string J underscore UFE48. I mean, something that seems gibberish, right? That information is the unique identifier of the video, okay? So we will see that with one simple function, you can get that particular identifier. And that's what you need then to say, hey, please, API, I would like to get the information about this video. And what you need is the video ID, okay? So the idea, and that's what we will be do in the notebook is, okay, first I take some keywords or a particular topic that I'm interested in, and I want to discover some videos, okay? So I start from the keyword and I use the, as you remember, the function that we have seen before, and somehow you get the videos IDs, okay? So the videos IDs that are those strange strings that we have just seen allow the API to say, okay, I exactly know what you're talking about. You would like this video, okay? You would like the information of this particular video. Okay, confusing, not so clear. Maybe right. Let's see that in action on Google Colab. Okay, so for this notebook, you can either try to use my API or you can just follow along with me, because this is really just explanatory. Maybe after this part we will make a break, and during the break I will try to solve the problem of the API creation. And then for the other notebooks, we will see 3 notebooks together today. We can do all together. Okay, so if it's okay also with the organizer, I would like to go about 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes on this notebook, and then let's have a break. Let's try to sort it out, the key problem, and then we resume with the other part. Okay, so I will present something else. I will present you the notebook. Okay. So, as you can imagine, the notebook that we will see now, it's gonna be it's this one. Okay, share. It's gonna be the first one, right? The one that is labeled 1_search. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. I see that also somebody is writing maybe some solution on the chat or so. If you figured it out, that's amazing. But anyways, I will look into it, and we over the break we can figure it out together. So let's start. Remember, we used Colab also in the Winter School because it's very convenient. For those of you that have never seen it, no problem, okay? Because it's just, an environment that allows you to execute your code. But it's plug and play. You don't have to do anything, okay? So you open my notebook, for example, with Colab, and then what you need to do is just go here and play that button, okay? This one, it's a line that sets up your environment. I've written here setup, okay? You will see that this kind of setup is gonna be the same for all the notebooks, and you don't really have to get crazy on that because it's just okay. You need that type of line to make everything work. Okay, so let's do it. here it's again the what I thought would have been the smooth way of getting the API, or at least the one that worked for me. Then let's see what is the problem, and we learn something together. But once you have the API, you see, here there's mine. You can try to use mine, okay? In the notebook, you have mine. Don't play too many times the same cell, so don't repeatedly press the play button, because as I told you, every time you make a request to the API, you use the quota, okay? And if you do that too much, we will see that, okay, the quota is done, is finished, and you cannot make further requests. So this is the setup. The idea, the core idea that I really like about this thing is that, okay, let's not get crazy about all the details of the setup, okay? We know that we need this type of setup. Let's use it, okay? Here, the only important thing is that, okay, this is the API key that either you created or we will create shortly together. And this is what allows you to use the API from YouTube, okay? So that's it's kind of an authentication. It's like when when you cross a border, they ask you for your passport, because okay, they provide you the entrance on the other country, but maybe you need to give some identification. So this API key is like, okay, you are the certain user and you are Franco, okay? So your quota is this, you can make so many requests and so on, okay? And then you need this line, okay? This line basically instantiate what is the client. As I was telling you in the example of the restaurant, there is always a client and a server. In the restaurant, you are the client, okay? You are the one that wants to get some food from the kitchen, okay? Which is the server. And in this case, you need, okay, I need to create a local client that can communicate to the API. And this one does exactly like that. You see that here I called it YouTube. So for you, it's like the entry point for the API. So I want just to read 1 second the messages. Okay, so probably it may be that with institutional emails that's blocked, and you should have a random Gmail. So maybe while we are talking, just try that, okay? I have my let's say personal Gmail account. That may be something, okay? I'm pretty sure that some organization even allow you to have a YouTube API key, but it can be that maybe some other organization don't allow you to do that, okay? So let's see if that works. Okay, so nothing very special, okay? Here I even specified you, okay, this is your client, so this is the entity, the object that communicates with the API, and you say, okay, I would like to communicate with the YouTube API, this type of version, and I pass my key, so my identification, okay? Let's do something more interesting. What we would like to see first is like search, okay? So this function is pretty important because allows you to search for basically anything, okay? So can return videos, channels, playlists, okay? So whatever you can think of, you can get it through the search, okay? And search is nothing else that your way of, okay, there's this huge amount of data on YouTube, but I would like some specific stuff, okay? So let's see it in practice, okay? So here it's the object that we just created, okay? So that's your client, the one that can speak to the API, and you say, okay, I would like to search. And here, one example is, I would like to search for climate change science, okay? So this is just a text. There's nothing special. It's like when you type on the YouTube interface, you say, okay, I would like a video about climate change science. You write it down, okay? This way, you are using an API, so it's more, structured. You use the API and you get all your responses within Python. You can save them, you can process that, okay? As usual, it's like the more computer science way of doing things. Here, oh, okay. Thank you so much for confirming. So it works with a personal Gmail account, okay? So later on the break, I will stay here with you and we can try to redo that together, okay? So just follow me you will be able to follow with me for the entire session, okay? So we said that we can get anything with search, but okay, usually many times we are interested in videos, okay? Sometimes we may be interested in channels, and I wrote a function for you to do that as well. But okay, here we just want, to take the videos about climate change science, and we would like to get just 5 results, okay? As I told you, YouTube has all the videos in the world, and you may want to take, okay, I want just few of them. I don't want too many, okay? So, this part you can neglect it because it's very simple. It's just a way of accessing the information, and I'll show you what I mean with that. But look at it. Like here, you have 5 videos. Okay, so we have 5 titles of 5 videos. At least the method is working reasonably. And here we have, okay, what is climate change? Crash course biology number 8. Okay. So basically, you have done automatically a YouTube search. When you go on YouTube and you write whatever, so if you were to write climate change science, you get listed all the videos. In this way, you get listed all the videos, but on the notebook. Okay, so this information you have it here. So just to be sure that you are with me, look. This one is one of those videos, okay? In particular, is the last one. You see that the last one is called Global Climate Change. And so if you look at what you get from the function, remember, the function is always something that you write down and as indeed a function, okay? So you say, okay, I would like the videos that match this query. I would like 5 of them. I'll give them to you and you can save it somewhere, okay? So here you see, it's a rather strange way of presenting stuff, but you have all what you want, okay? Because, for example, here you have the title. So you know that this video that you retrieved has as title Global Climate Change, okay? But you don't have just that. You have the channel ID. Again, we have said that YouTube uses these strange strings to identify the elements. So you know that, okay, the channel that posted this video on YouTube is known as this one, okay? But yeah, what about the human name? Okay, you have also that as well. You have the channel title that is Bozeman Science, okay? So it's a channel that is related to science. Okay, makes sense because we are searching for climate change science video. And you have also some other kind of information. For example, let's click on this link, okay? The thumbnail, it's just, the picture that you get prompted whenever you, before accessing a video. So, for example, if we click on this, you still see, right? You see a picture. We have access to the very picture that is associated with the video, and that may be also interesting. For example, if you would like to do some analysis on the similarity of the videos that are online, maybe you have an hypothesis that the videos online are getting too much similar, they are almost all the same. Okay, you can get maybe this kind of information and then develop all your ideas over the image. Okay, and then here it's as always, the idea is okay, we understood that this search.list is an interesting function that we can use. As the name says, it allows us to search, but what can we do more? Okay, we have seen that Q stands for query. Okay, so that's what we want to search for. The type, of course, is the type of resource that we want to get, but maybe you just want, to get the videos that have been published after a certain date. Because we have seen before in the example that we have just retrieved, here we get even really old videos. Like this video is from 2015. This is from 2017. Okay, this is more recent, but I mean, maybe I just want all the videos that came after 2024. Okay, perfect. You can do that. It's very simple. You just have this option. You write it, publish it after, and you put like a certain date. So 2024, January 1st. Okay. And you can even put, say, okay, I want a window. So it should be published after and published before another date. You can do that. I mean, as always, there are many, many options to these kind of commands. What needs to stick with you is that, okay, if I need to search, I first need to have a client, okay, that uses the YouTube API, and it is this YouTube that we define together. And then, okay, I ask Gemini how to do it, okay? Either I remember that there are all these options, or I say, okay, once I have a client that is able to communicate with the YouTube API, can I get just the videos that are within a certain range, okay? And so here you see that, okay, it makes sense. The results that we got are within that range. So you have videos from 2024, you have August, you have September, you have July, and so on, okay? So you get just videos in that time frame. You can sort the results, okay? Imagine, here we have seen that videos whose order is like not so clear, right? Because, I mean, it's not chronological, because, I mean, here you have the 8th, then the 7th, so it's not chronological. Usually the default is like they are ordered by relevance, okay? So it's YouTube algorithm. We will emphasize it later. That's also a bias, okay? Because that's like the lens in which YouTube sees things, but actually is also the lens with which the users see things, okay? Because if you do a query, you may see something that is more similar to that, right? But imagine that you want chronological order. Okay, you can order by date. So most recently published video first. That's important in the cases in which you would like to see the most updated videos on a certain matter. Okay, you don't want to retrieve stuff that is 10 years old. Okay, you would like to see something that has been published yesterday. Okay, so again, you have this additional parameter that is order and says, okay, date. I want to order my results according to the date. Okay, and okay, I repeated the code. Here I'm not repeating every time because I'm just, taking the code of before and reusing it. And here we see that, okay, with the same query, okay, so here I slightly change it just for the sake of not getting bored too much. Here we have social media and mental health, okay, search on YouTube. And you see that by changing the order, if you order it by relevance, then you have social media impact on your mental health as first result. If you order it by view count, okay, the first one is like how Selena Gomez deals with her mental health. And I mean, somehow it may make sense, right? Because the population that is more on YouTube is like the younger generation, and maybe they are not very interesting in mental health, or yes, but they look, for whatever Selena Gomez is going through because it's a very influential figure. But again, you see that just by changing the way in which you ask for the data, you get very different result. And I mean, ordering by date, okay, you get the latest video that has been uploaded. Since I ran it a few minutes before the session today, this is a video from today, okay? So again, what should stick by now is that we have simple ways, okay, just youtube.search.list to make queries to the YouTube API, so we can easily get information about videos, but there are many buts, okay? We have the degree of freedom of choosing how these videos should be ordered. We can say in which time frame we want them. So be careful, okay? Whenever you, for example, prompt Gemini to say, oh, okay, I would like to download or to get information from certain videos, remember that you need to be specific. So if you want the latest thing, say, okay, I want the latest videos. If you want the most popular, okay, then order by relevance, by view count, okay, or so on. You can see here that you have various types of ordering, okay? Always be mindful of that. Otherwise, you get many data, but then you're not really knowing what you're doing. And so, just for the sake of completeness, I will tell you that's not just it, okay? So we have seen some options, but actually there are many more. I mentioned few that, for example, are video duration, okay? So, on YouTube, you have the shorts, you have the longer videos, you have even streams, okay? And all the type of content may be very different. I mean, you may be interested in the short videos because you would like to see which kind of characteristic those videos are for the users that scroll indefinitely on YouTube. And so you can filter by video duration, or even more interesting, you may be interested in a particular region, okay? So you can specify, for example, I don't know, I want the videos that are from Italy. You can do that. I mean, in your query, in your search, you can say, okay, I want as region code Italy, okay? So again, nothing changes. You have this type of code that you can reuse over and over again, and you can specify whatever you want. Here, for example, I said, okay, I just want long videos, all those that are longer than 20 minutes. I want high definition videos. Why? I don't know, maybe I'm targeting some people that, have access to better equipment, so they have really high quality videos, and I want to see them in comparison to those that may have lower quality videos because they have lower quality equipment. The question then, are countless. You just have some imagination, or, sticking to whatever search question you have. And okay, here, just for fun, the long form HD videos about evolution. So, we started with a very broad query about, okay, science video on climate change, and we arrived to a very specific one in which we saw long form, so very long videos that are HD, that are in English, and that talk about evolution. And here you get your list of titles, okay? The last thing that I want to do with you, and then I left something as advanced just for you, I mean, to have, it's, okay, we have been searching videos, but sometimes we may be searching channels, okay? So you have a political figure, for example, that has a YouTube channel, and maybe uses that YouTube channel for some sort of either information or propaganda or whatever, okay? And you would like to monitor that, okay? You would like to know when the videos are posted. So, for example, if there are some correlation with some big events in the country, okay, you can do that, okay? Because first of all, what you need to do is understand which is the channel ID, okay? So we have said, okay, you have the name of the channel. Before we have seen my channel, which was without much fantasy, Franco Galante, okay? When you have that, you have to get the channel ID given the name, okay? So again, it seems repetitive, but we have seen that whenever you want to search for something, you need to do search.list, okay? So you can even search for channel names. So in this case, you want to get this channel, Kurzgesagt in a nutshell, okay? But you don't know the ID. You can do a search and you see that you have some different results. And okay, in this case, we take the first one, okay? That we assume is the more relevant. Now that you have the channel ID, not just the name, okay, with the name, you can start a search. When you have the ID, you can really ask the API whatever you want, okay? So you can search within the channel, okay? So you can not only search for videos, but you can search for the videos of a particular channel. How to do that? Well, again, there is an option, okay? So let's do like this, just to highlight it. Here you have the option to filter for your channel of interest. And this is exactly what we will be doing while collecting the YouTube dataset, okay? Because we will get some IDs, okay? And then we will just collect the videos of those channels. That's really interesting when, for example, you want to do some comparative analysis. So in a marketing setting, you have 10 influencers that are advertising some products, okay? You may want to take those videos and to see the performances and the performances over time, the engagement, for example, how much the user base of those people interact with the users, with the influencers. So you can do that. You just find the ID. Once you have the ID, you can use, once again, search.list. And with that, you get all the information that you need, okay? This is like an advanced topic. It's not, I mean, it's very important to use that because it's a huge optimization, but it's, you know, it's not worth to discuss it, okay? I left it for you. If you're interested, you can even ask me questions, but the high level idea is that I told you, whenever you do a search, it seems, you know, just running a cell, just you play on the Google Colab and okay, nothing happens. You get your data and that's it. But every time that you search, you are using up your quota, okay? And remember, that's limited. So you should optimize as much as you can. With this paging thing, basically, you are getting more results at once, okay? So the limit is 50. You can get 50 search results at once. Okay, let's get all of them, okay? So the idea is there, I get all the information that I can get from a single call, and you do that, okay? In the next notebooks, I will implicitly always use that, but as always, not important the low-level details. Let's understand that we have some keywords. We have something that you would like to search. Given that keyword, we need to get the IDs, okay? When we have the IDs that we get with the search method, then we can have everything we want. We have the views, we have the comments, we have the title, we have the channel that posted it, and we have everything, okay? So at that point, we are done. And if you think about that, we did all this work just with one function. I mean, all this notebook is about this search.list, okay? So that's one of the functions that I put in the slides, but I just want you to understand that, okay, it seems difficult, but actually we already done 1/3 of the work just with one function. So when you know how to use that, that's it, okay? So now I would like to ask you if there are any questions, and I think that we are about, I mean, in the right moment to do a break, but I would like to take all your questions if you have any, okay? Even just tell me if you were able with you know, a personal Google account to do the API keyword. You know, the organization can refrain you from doing anything. If your organization does not allow you to create API keys, maybe there's a reason, but there's no way you can circumvent that. If you have your own, let's say, Google account, it should be straightforward. But please tell me if everything is okay. Yes, please. To whomever raised the hand, you can freely speak.
Okay, just a quick question about the last part. The advantage of this getting more than 50 results chunk. The advantage of is like not hitting the API key quota, right? The advantage is about this part is that, right?
Yeah, it's related to that. Just to have, an intuitive way of understanding that. Again, taking with the example of the waiter. Imagine that you ask the waiter, okay, I would like the noodles. Then you say, I would like the water. And then I would like, I don't know, my cutlery because something fell off. And then you ask, if you make 10 questions or 10 queries to the waiter, maybe the waiter get upset, right? If you do all at once, you say, okay, I'm ready to order, but please bring me the noodles, the meat, and the vegetables aside, okay? You are making a more efficient query. Here is the same. So you can get up to some items. Let's get all of them at once. So you just make one call. You use just one, let's say, unit of budget, but you get a lot of data. You can also do, one query at a time, but every time you are asking, you lose some quota. So it's just, a matter of being more efficient. And if you think at the waiter example, it maps well also there.
Yeah, thanks so much.
No problem. Okay, so if it's okay, we can stop for 6-7 minutes, something like that, or even 10. Then we will be able to cover all the material. In the meanwhile, if you are curious, try to run the code or try to make, a sense of what you have seen. You have all the material, so go through it. If some questions come up, we will start the next block with all your questions, okay? And remember, don't get scared or don't focus too much on the tiny details on the code. The code most of the time can be written with Gemini. Try to understand which are the ideas behind, okay? And ask me whatever you want. Okay, so see you in, okay. I think slowly we can start to resume. I wait still 30 seconds to be sure that you'll listen to me and you're all back. And in the meanwhile, I'll ask you if you have some questions, some curiosities, whatever. Okay, I'm here to answer to any of your doubts or of your curiosities. Okay, don't be scared of asking. Which kind of console are you referring to? If you can unmute yourself, if you would like to speak, be free.
Hi. Sorry, I couldn't unmute myself. Hi, Franco, and thank you for the informative session today. It's good to see you again after the winter school. My question may sound very simple, but honestly, I didn't know the reason why we are using the console.cloud.google.com, the one that we couldn't access through our institutional account. Is it to get what kind of key are we referring here? Is it the key like API or the?
Why it was not working with your institutional email?
No, I got that part. I was able to sign in with a different account. I'm just trying to understand the purpose of us going there and creating a project.
Well, good question. And that's basically a way of authentication, right? So YouTube and also many other platforms sometimes are willing to give you the data, okay? But they want to know who you are, okay? So they need to associate the requests. So okay, I want to search, so search.list, whatever. They want to associate that request to a particular person. So you need that API key. I make you another example because this one is an API key for YouTube, but another famous API key is that of ChatGPT. In that case, it's very clear why they want you to have an API key and they want that API to be unique to you because they are billing you. In that case, whenever you make a request to ChatGPT, it costs something, okay? And so with this key, they can identify, okay, it is Franco that is making a query. I have to, I don't know, bill 10 cents. In the case of YouTube, for example, think of managing the quota. I told you that you have a limited number of requests that you can do. So they need to have a unique way of identifying somebody, okay, to say, okay, you have your quota that is this amount, you cannot exceed that. For example, Franco Galante, there may be 100 in Italy, you know, but the one that has A, I, Z, A, S, I mean, that long string is just me. It's just a matter of having a unique identifier associated to you.
All right. So I can see that on the page I have the project number and the project ID. Is this the key that you're referring to, or how do I find that identifier or the key on the page?
When you create it, I mean, I share quickly the slide. Maybe we can synchronize with that. Let's see. I should present. Just bear with me. I have a not so new PC any longer. Okay, swap presenter. Okay, I'll share that. So when you create it, okay, okay, you should be able to see. We should have surpassed this part in which we create the project, we search for the API key. Then, I mean, when you do like this, okay, so when you created a project, you are within your project. For example, you see on the left that it's written, you are working in YADESA Online. That's my folder, my project. I called it YADESA Online Training, okay? So then I search for YouTube Data API, and that says, okay, I'm looking for the YouTube API. And when you click on that, you get prompt, okay, would you enable it? So should you enable it? Whenever, as soon as you enable it, you get this kind of screen, okay? And so you have enabled the service, but you don't have yet your key. At this point, you have to go there. You see there, you have create credentials. And credential is basically, you know, it's an identifier. So at that point, you are getting close to what we need, no? So you create credentials, you just click on there, and you get prompted something like this or very similar, in which you have credentials, and here you have some kind of menu from which you have to choose. And so from here you say, okay, which API are you using? Okay, we want the YouTube Data API v3. That's fine. And then here they ask you, would you like user data or public data? The difference is user data is basically your data. So if you are a YouTuber and you would like to get access to your own YouTube video content, you can do that. I mean, I am not, and most of the people are not. So we are interested in the public data. so all the data that YouTube offers to the people to use. And so you select public data, you hit on next, okay? And as soon as you hit on next, you get prompted this thing, okay? So your credentials, your API key, okay? We recommend restricting this key before using it. Okay, you can neglect that. But here, in this part, you see you have API key 1, and you can copy it. So from there, you can just copy the API key. And that one was the key that I was mentioning. It's, you know, a big string that starts with AIZA.
Right. Well, thank you so much.
I hope I didn't go too fast. And if you miss something, I mean, you have the slides, so you can go through it. But I hope, is it clear, please?
Definitely, it's much clearer.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Perfect. No, thanks for the question. Okay, so we have seen how to search, okay? We have understood that we can search for videos, we can search for channels, we can refine our own search, so we can order differently the results that we get, we can select the time frame in which we want to get results. Of course, we can provide the keywords or whatever we want, but at the end of the day, what we really want is like, okay, let's get some numbers, okay? So right now we are gonna do exactly like that, and I have the second notebook. So we will start the session with the notebook that is this one, okay? And it's the second notebook. Let's see, you should be able to see it. And yeah, of course, it's the number 2, collect statistics. Okay, so in one of my previous slides, I showed you 3 methods. The first one was the search, and then we had the one that allows you to get the statistics, and we are going to see it now. And then there is the one that allows you to get all the comments. Okay, and that is basically the entirety of the information that we can get from YouTube without violating the terms of service, okay? So again, this is the setup. Don't be scared because it's just copy paste of the one before. So this is just telling, okay, I'm gonna use the Google API Python client. Remember, YouTube is within Google, so they have their own software. Okay, just use that. Just use that. And here we have the API key that we should be have been able to create. And again, we need our, in some sense, our entry point. Okay, this is the object that tells us, okay, from here you can talk with YouTube. Okay. Okay, so this function is the one that I took from the previous notebook. So just look at the name, and the name, forget about the details. The name already tells you, okay, if you want to search for videos, use this function. So you can say, okay, I want to retrieve some specific videos. Here I specify my object, and then some other option is as usual, okay? This one is copy paste from previous notebook, so no problems in that. So here, whenever you have a function, one good practice is, okay, I have the function, I have written the function, let's see if the function makes sense, okay? So here we just make a quick trial, and we see, okay, I want to know about black holes, okay? I have my client and I want just 15 videos. Okay, so here you can see that you get printed 15 results. Of course, you just print 3, not to have a list of 15. And the top 3 results are what happened if a black hole appeared in your classroom. That probably is a very interesting video because it's probably a comedic video about black holes, not really a scientific video. But okay, this is something that we have already developed. Okay, we know how to search stuff. Yes, but now we would like to as I've written here, enrich the results, because we know how to search. We have our IDs, we have the video IDs, but that's not enough. We would like to know, okay, how many views, which channel, and all the, let's say, contextual information, how many likes, how many comments are on that particular video. And you can do that by another function that is very simple, videos.list, okay? So again, just to remark, with search.list, you have some, let's say, quick and dirty result about the video. So for example, okay, there we have even the views, but with video.list, you have all the information that you can get from that video, okay? So I prepared for you a function that is very simple, and we will use it even in the next notebooks when we will be collecting our data sets. And here is like, okay, I give you a list of IDs. So I already know which are the IDs of my videos. Okay, those strange strings that we have seen that identify the videos. Perfect. I give you that. Please tell me everything that you know about that video. Okay, so this function basically just takes one video at a time and makes a call of videos.list. So it's not very different from above, right? Above we had search.list, and that was a searching function. Here we have videos.list that allows you to gather the statistics. Okay, so we still keep the black hole example that we just have, and remember that we already make a query. Okay, we already ask for, okay, I would like to know the videos that talk about black holes. Okay, so in these results here, we already have all what we need. Okay, let's try to see it together to make you understand what I mean. Let's wait 1 second, just it to run. Okay, it's pretty quick. Okay, so I was telling you, we have already a lot of information inside here. So remember, whenever you are not sure, just look at the variables, the things that you're doing. So here, for example, I hit on results. Okay, so okay, it's not very readable, but we have kind of already seen it before, right? Here you have, for example, the title. So you have already the title, The Real Science of Black Holes. Okay. Here you have all the 15 results. So if we want, for example, to get the first one, the one that I was mentioning, so what would happen if a black hole appeared in our classroom? Of course, we have to scroll all the way up, but we have it there. But what is more interesting is that, okay, we have that kind of information, but we have also when it has been published, okay, what kind of video that is. We have the channel ID. Remember, the IDs are those that uniquely identify whatever you're looking at, okay? And so with this kind of information, you can do what we were attempting, okay? So now you want to get more stuff, okay? So you need a video ID, okay? So in that list, you had all the video IDs. And by getting the video IDs, you can see that, for example, okay, the title of the first video is "What would happen if a black hole appeared in your class?" Okay, that's the video. But what we can get is much more. Okay, so we get the views. So it has a huge amount of views. So 346 millions. It has the likes. It has the comments. Okay. And so, again, using a simple function that the API provides, remember it's videos.list, we can get many information about that. And that's it, okay? So again, I already wanted to inspect one element in detail. I forgot about that, and I did it previously. But let's see again the structure. Okay, so you have, for example, simulation of a black hole at school. Okay, what would happen if a black hole appeared in your classroom? It's still the same video. Okay. And here you can see that you have the channel title. So you know that Zach King was the publisher of that video, but then you know also the tags. This is something very interesting. Okay, we have not discussed about the tags, but you know, imagine that you would like to just keep the videos that have particular tags. So I just want the videos that are related to physics. Okay, maybe I have this tag information that is there. I mean, we have already collected it just with couple of line of code, and you can filter and say, okay, I just take the physics videos. Of course, if your field is again opinion dynamics, I would like to take all the videos that talk about the modeling of opinions. Okay, if you don't have opinion in the tag, I discard the video. So you have much more information than the one we started with. Okay, so you have the duration, you have the definition, you have the license. Remember, I told you that you should sometimes look at which type of license the video have. Here you have all these kind of things, okay? And then you have the statistics that are there. So view count, like count, favorite, comment count, and so on, okay? Here, again, I told you that I would have stressed more about the quota, okay? So we have seen just two methods, the search.list and the videos.list, okay? But they have a very, very different quota detail, okay? Because every time you do a search, even though it's just one line, it costs you 100, okay? Whereas whenever you do a video list, it costs just one. So remember, when you're developing your code, be mindful of the quote, okay? We will see that in the next notebook, where we will be collecting a YouTube dataset, there's going to be let's say, a dummy way of collecting the data and a more smart way of doing that. And again, it's looking at the quota. If you can't get your information with this one, since it's cost much less, use that one. Don't use the other one, even though it's more comfortable, convenient, okay? And okay, that's it. I mean, as I told you, it's very, very simple to get information, because with this very line of code, okay, with this part, so videos.list and some information. Don't worry about that. Use the one that I provided you. You get all these very rich kind of data, okay? And since you can do it in Python, you can do it for thousands of videos. You do it once, you understand how it works, and then it scales very well, okay? But I promised you, there's not only the, let's say, metadata information, but you have comments, okay? So here the title is like reading the audience. So here what you really can do is like, okay, I have a video or a bunch of videos. How do the people interact? What they do? Do they talk about? In which way? Which tone? You know, you can do some kind of deeper analysis. And again, in the usual style that we have, I provided you with a function. Okay, this function that is called get comments, and this basically allows you to take the comments of a video. Okay, this one is more simple because allows you to take just the top comments and not the replies. You can do even with the replies, but that costs a little bit more with the quota, so let's forget about it, but it's entirely possible. Okay, and again, let's make some examples. No, why not? We take again some ID. As usual, we need the ID. We take it from previous stuff. Doesn't matter. And by using the function, so this is really the function that I showed you. You do get comments, you pass the ID of the video you're interested in, and as usual, your client, okay, so the entry point that allows you to communicate with the API, and you get the comments, okay? So let's hope that it's not too bad comments. So, okay, this one, how about we learn about the sun, okay? Or respect to the kid for sacrificing himself. Okay, not that nice, but you know, on social platform, you get what it comes. But again, by reusing this code that I provided you, and just by providing the ID of your video, you have in one moment all the comments, or here we just took the top comments of that video. That's very interesting because I even using that in my research right now. I'm having a project in which I'm interested in understanding how the commenters behave under different videos, and if there is some coordination about commenters. Something that I saw on YouTube is that in some particular sectors, there seems to be a kind of endorsement mechanism. Like there are some channels, some people that comment on others people's channel, and they are very, always complimenting the video and being very positive about that, irregardless of the content, okay? And usually with the same repetitive patterns. And you can see that by looking at the comments, you see this pattern of people saying over and over again under the videos of others the same thing repeated. So it's a wealth of information that you have access to, and depending on whatever you do, you have the comments there. So you have the idea of the people that is saying. So you can even say, of course, you cannot say, okay, that person said that, but at least person A always is mean with the others under the comments, or in one video person A it's really mean, in the other it's very pleasing. Why? I mean, all the kind of question that come to your mind you can try to answer, okay? So again, here just a couple of remarks. With these kind of comments you can do a lot, because you can do sentiment analysis, okay? So which videos generate positive reactions? Maybe there are some topics that are more prone to generate positive reactions, and there are some more divisive topics. So again, you have the tags. With the tags, you can make some filtering. You can divide the topics, and after that, you can see, oh, okay, how are the comments under this particular thing? Okay. You can do some engagement versus quality measurements, or analysis. Well, quantity. So something that comes into my mind, it's like a trend that was saying, okay, there are users that have huge following, so that they have a lot of views to each videos or whatever, but their following is not so engaged with them. Whereas there are other users that do something that is like microblogging. They maybe have, just few thousand of followers, but they are much more engaged. So, for example, from a marketing perspective, there were some companies and even some research work that were arguing, okay, maybe you should look at the not the influencers with the highest number of views or of subscribers, but those for which the engagement is higher. Because if they have a user base that is very much engaged, okay, maybe then they would like to, buy the product that the influencer is advertising. So you can do a lot of things already with what we have seen. Okay, so questions so far? Some curiosity, something that you would like to know deeper? Yes, please. feel free to unmute yourself and
Yeah,
ask
no,
the question.
I did it. I just tried this yesterday to get the comments from a YouTube video, and the Gemini advised me to get scrape function. What was that? Scrape YouTube comments. Is there a difference between get comments and scrape YouTube comments? This is my first question, and the quick second question might be just to be safe from this hitting the quota. Do you suggest us to, like manually search YouTube videos and then get their IDs and then do all automation process on the Colab? Can we mix some sort of manual and automation together?
I mean, I would suggest you to do the manual thing for the transcript, for example. I told you that you cannot get the transcript, let's say, through the API because it's against the term of service, but you can get it manually. So there, I strongly suggest you to do whenever you want, okay, whenever you can. But no, otherwise, I suggest you to use this pipeline. I mean, it's better to get the results and the IDs with the API, okay? But the only thing that I wanted to stress is that for example, it's not that it's very expensive to search for some IDs, okay? If you search for some IDs, that costs something, but okay, not huge. The thing that I want to stress is that, okay, once you have those IDs, when you have found them, save them into a file, okay? Avoid, executing many times the same cell. I mean, that is something that I also do, you do the query in which you find your ID, and then, Colab get disconnected, or you rerun the stuff, and you do it maybe 10 times in a day, and there you are wasting the quota. Otherwise, I strongly suggest you let's say, to use the API. You will not hit the quota unless you're doing huge, let's say, huge download of information. But about that, don't worry. The idea is that there's a quota, so be mindful on how you are requesting stuff. It's not do something else because you will exceed it, okay? And regarding the previous question, that's a little bit more difficult to answer because it's related to the term of service I was mentioning before. Scraping, even now we are scraping the data, okay? But not really scraping. What usually scraping means is that you go to a website, okay, and you use tools like Selenium, for example, to get some information out of the data, okay? That type of thing, it's always, most of the time, against the term of service. For YouTube, it's for sure. The term of service of YouTube tells you that you can get all the information that are provided through the API. Why they do that? If you go to a web page, you take the HTML page, so you're basically taking the very object that is, let's say, the browser is showing you. You can get all the information you want. For example, you can get the video, okay? You can get everything. But as I was telling you, that's against the term of service because YouTube does not want to give you access to the video. Because of that, they created the API. The API is a controlled way of giving you information. So YouTube is happy to share you, the likes count, the comments, the description, and so on. But for example, they don't want for you to have the videos. So they don't allow you to get it from the API. If you do the scraping, of course, you can do that, okay? But you are against the term of service. So it's not the cleanest thing you can do. Depends on the person. I personally prefer not to go against the term of service because there may be problems. As I was saying in a slide, maybe they ask you to, retract the paper that you're writing or whatever. So yes, you can do it. There are tools. I even showed you one was YT-DLP. That's an external tool that allows you to download the videos. This is like the clean way of getting data. With this, you won't have any problems. beware, there are external tools that allow you to do scraping, but scraping is more dirty. You, let's say, take what you want, okay? I hope I clarified you a little bit. It is like still using API key. No, okay. The function that you showed me, it's like if you see the line, I'm referring to the comment, okay, the comment section here, the chat. So you have YouTube equal Google API client discovery build. That thing is exactly what we did, okay. So in this case, it's just the name of the function. When you see that there is def, okay, you have there def scrape YouTube comments, okay. Let me take it to a cell here so we all see it, okay. So your colleague is mentioning this scrape YouTube comments. Well, this is just the name of the function. Look here, I call my function get comments, but if I call my function scrape YouTube comments was the same. And if you notice this part, okay, it is exactly the same as our YouTube Google API client.discover, okay? So, I mean, that's the clean thing, okay? I went a bit too much farther, but that's just a different naming, okay? Probably the function was really similar to the one that I showed you. Okay, I hope it's okay now. And any other question?
It seems no question.
Perfect. So I have two slides that I would like to show you. And then let's collect our data set, okay? So we are gonna soon collect our first data set. Let me share. I stop sharing there and I start sharing the okay, so our goal now is that, okay, we know the tools. We know that we have a function to get to allow us to search on this huge YouTube data ecosystem. We have a function that allows us to take all the statistics, all the metrics, all the information that YouTube is willing to provide us. We even have a function that gives us the comments. So, okay, sure. Apart from the video, we have a lot of information. And what about collecting a dataset now? So let's assume, this is not really a research question. I casted it as a research question, but it's more of, okay, let's do an exercise together. It's already late. Let's do something that is simple and just, explanatory, okay? So a question maybe, how do leading science science YouTube channels differ in their content strategies and audience engagement? So we would like to see how much the audience of some top science YouTuber engage with the channel and how many videos they post. Do they differ a lot? Are they all the same? It's maybe, again, from a scientific point of view, not so interesting, but it's a reasonable question. One may ask themselves, okay? And we kind of have touched it, but we haven't said it out loud, that YouTube data collection is a two-step procedure, okay? I presented you the two notebooks, okay? Also because of that. The first one is like search. You need to search stuff on YouTube and you get your IDs, okay? So see also here in the slide, you identify your keywords, your query, whatever, and you use search and you get the video ID. Once you have the video ID, there is the second step. You get all the data that you can, okay? So there is this two-step procedure. And Of course, whenever you want to gather a YouTube data set, you need to do that, okay? And we will do that together. So again, the first step is exploration. I want to get the videos that I need. The second step is like, okay, let's collect what I want, okay? My metrics of interest. For example, here in this example, we want the engagement. So the engagement is gonna computed like some combination of likes and comments over the total views. So imagine there's a video that has many views, but no likes or no comments. Okay, that's a bit strange. There's no engagement. There's no people interacting with each other. It's not really something social. Whereas there is a video which has fewer views, but has a lot of likes and a lot of comments, okay? The engagement is higher. Okay, let's try to understand if there is a pattern in that. Okay, so the goal is collecting a science YouTubers dataset, okay? We will go through it together, step by step, as usual. I have taken 5 popular science YouTubers. Just one is my favorite. Doesn't really matter, but I'll tell you just for completeness. And we would like to take their last 100 videos. Okay? Of course, we go now to our notebooks. And I already tell you that for the collection, I present you one result. And then I present you another one that is refined, but after that, I want even to make a comment, okay? Because when I was preparing the lecture, something, again, quite strange happened. I understood why it happened, and I would like to share it with you. Because what you, again, need to understand and remember after the session is that whenever you collect data, there are a lot of variables, okay? And whenever a small detail change in the data collection process, you may have some big differences, okay? So let's get started with the notebook. Collect and analyze. Okay, so this is the third and last notebook. Is a bit longer than the others. Okay, so we are gonna cover the first part, then do a couple of slides, and then cover the second one. But okay, let's start again from our simple research question. Okay, how do leading science communication YouTube channels differ in content strategy? Sorry about that. In content strategy and audience engagement. Okay, so we are all interested about the engagement of the users of these YouTubers. So, as I promised you, the setup is going to be the same in all notebooks. Okay, so again, let's redo the stuff in which we install the let's say the libraries, all the context that we need. And again, this is the usual copy paste of the API key, okay? Then we have our usual client that is the same that also your colleague had in the function. And at this point, we would like to build a dataset, okay? So one way of doing it is like, okay, I know 5 science communication channels, okay, which are a little bit different. And these are this one, kurz gesagt in a nutshell, okay, which is one of the examples that I had even before. Then we have Teddy D, Shisho, and this one, 3 blue, 1 brown. It's my favorite science YouTuber. It's very nice. If you need to get some technical intuition, amazing. I suggest you as well, because he's even addressing some AI related problems. So have a look at the channel, okay? Okay, we have these names, and as I told you, the first thing that we would like to do is like, okay, given the channel name, I want the channel ID, okay? So here we have an helper function that says, okay, find the channel ID. So the query is the channel name. So again, somebody asked me before if it was worth it to somehow take manually the channel ID or the video ID and then using the API. Well, it may make sense, but it's better to use this kind of approach to get the IDs. It's cleaner, it's more reproducible, it's less prone to errors. So we use the usual search function, search.list, that we know very well, but this time we say, hey, I want to look for channels, okay? The query is gonna be the name, whatever name we are looking for. So for example, channel names, we would like to get Kurzgesagt, okay? Okay, our query is gonna be Kurzgesagt, and this is the function that I provided you, nothing special. It's just, applying the method that we know and do some printing, okay? Because here we say, hey, I don't want just one result. Give me the top 3 search results, okay? Here we have all the names that we have in the table, and let's look at the results together, okay? Most of the things is just printing, so really don't worry about that. Okay, so here, top results for Kurzgesagt, okay? Well, here we already see something that may be strange. Well, here there is the caveat and the detail that I wanted to talk about, and I noticed while preparing the lecture, because here you see that the first result is like en pocas labras. This I think is Spanish, okay? Then there is the name, and then there is, okay, videos. It's something in Spanish. That's strange, okay? Because I expected the channel to be English. The second result is Kurzgesagt, in a nutshell. Animation video explaining things with optimistic, okay. This result makes not more sense, but it's more aligned with what I was expecting. I tell you this because here is an interesting point. When I run the query on my local PC, because I was preparing the lecture on my PC, and then since it's more convenient to share it with you and to discuss it with you, I uploaded everything to Google Colab, and I ran the exact same code there. Since there are some things that change, for example, the location from where you're doing the query and these kind of things. When I was doing on my machine, this one was the first result, okay? Whereas this one was the second. I noticed that there is this mismatch because when I was comparing the results that I got on my machine and those that were for you for this lecture, I was like, hey, there is something strange. Why they are not the exact same numbers? And then I understood. When you do the searches, there is a little bit of bias. If you are in a particular geographical location, if you are searching in a certain language, if you are, there are many if that may slightly change your results. So this is just an heads up to you for you to understand that, okay, when you do data collection, it seems that everything is fixed, deterministic, always get the same stuff. Not always the case, okay? If in the function I was here, search.list, I was specifying more stuff, for example, which is the language, which is the region, and so on and so forth, then I would have gotten more, deterministic results. So just for you to think about that, be careful. So as I told you before, when you ask Gemini, or if you're doing it yourself, always be very, very specific. because everything that you leave the default, you have no control over, okay? But apart from this detail that is more general, I mean, it's not just about this. I took this example because, I mean, it happened to me yesterday, okay? So it's the most recent thing that is in my mind. Here we run our code, and okay, here we have the top 3 results, okay? Of course, we take the top one, okay? Even though we understood that maybe here it's not very reliable, we still decided the policy that, oh, okay, let's take the top one. And we didn't do big things, okay? Because just we associated a name with the ID. And so for all of them, we have name, ID, name, ID. And as by now we know, when you have the ID, you can have everything because you speak the same language as the API speaks, okay? And so now that we have the ID, we can actually have we can start the actual collection, okay? Because we have remember, we have the ID of the channels, okay? But of course, we're interested in the videos. So we need to have a way to get the IDs of the video as well. But this time we say, hey, give me the videos. But what I really want is the channel matches this ID. Okay, so you're basically filtering by ID. Putting it in simple words, you're just looking at the videos of 3 blue, 1 brown. Okay, you say, okay, just look at that specific channel. So we are going to do a search by channel. That is something different from what we have done before, right? Because before we were doing a search by keyword. So all the videos related to black hole. Okay, so again, to search for videos, we use the search.list, okay, as we have always done. But this time, here, we use the channel IDs, okay, which we have just obtained. And to get the video details, we use, as we have seen in the previous notebook, the videos.list whenever we have the ID of the videos. Beware that anytime that we do a search, whenever we do a search, we use 100 units of quota, whereas the video details, it's a bit lighter because it just uses 1, okay? So here I put again another comment that it's pretty general. I wanted to tell you here, but these functions are those that we have already used in the previous notebooks. Especially when you use Gemini, okay, you tend to, let Gemini regenerate the code from scratch. So whenever you need something, you say, hey, I want to do this type of operation. Can you write me some code that does that? Okay, that's okay-ish, but not very good. When you have some code that you have already developed, you have tested it, you have used it, you know it works, it's aligned with what you want, reuse it, okay? So this is a general computer science idea. We have already these functions, we have to reuse them, okay? So reuse your code. Take those functions, so search videos and enrich with stats, some function that we have seen before. One searches for the videos that match some specifics. This one, given the video ID, gives you the statistics, so all the views, all the comments, all the stuff, okay? Okay, so after this big specification, let's collect the dataset, okay? Now it's time to get some meat, some real dataset in our hands, okay? So we said we want 100 videos for each channel, okay? That's arbitrary. You can put 200, you could put 10, whatever. You can specify an output file. So whenever you collect some data, you have to save it somewhere, right? We all agree on that. So specify the name that the file name you want to save to. And here we have seen that the information that the API provide us, it's very rich. There was the, you remember that really ugly looking sequence in which you had all those curly braces and stuff, and you had all the fields written inside it. This basically allows you to take just some of those fields, okay? Just to be sure that we are on the same page. Maybe it was here. Okay. Here, I'm mentioning these things, okay? Here it's pretty complicated. You have a lot of stuff. Already here, you have the ID, the channel ID, the thumbnails, all this information, okay? That line basically tells you, okay, I'm interested in channel title. I'm interested in statistics and view count, okay? So you're just doing that. Nothing so special. Is again, I want just certain information. Let's not take it all. And okay, then you have the collection procedure, okay? So we said that in channels, we had the channel name and the ID, okay? Remember that. We had the channel name and the ID. So this one is the one that we understand. This one is the one that the API understands. Okay, perfect. So now let's do what we know, okay? We know to do a search. So we do search videos, okay? That is the function that we developed. And we say, okay, no query, because I just want the video, I want the videos from a particular channel ID. So basically I'm doing a search, but I'm saying, hey, I don't want specific videos, but I want the videos of that specific channel, okay? The second step is always the same. So now that I have the videos IDs, I would like to have the statistics. So I use the function that we developed together, then I provide it to you, and okay, let's get all the statistics. And here, it seems something really difficult, but it's just, massaging the data to have a clean table, okay? But that's something that Gemini or GPT does way better than humans, okay? You say, hey, I have these strange looking organized files. Can you put it in a more readable format? And okay, then you're done. Okay, you see here that you are looping. These are the loops. So you do for all the channels, you do that procedure. And so basically what you end up with is like all the information of the last 100 videos of those 5 channels or channels of interest. Okay, well, let's look at what the code prints, okay? Here we have, okay, collecting 100 videos from Kurzgesagt. Found 96 videos. Okay, why 96 and not 100? Let's think about it. But, I mean, it's still reasonable. For Veritasium, we have, okay, 100 videos were collected and we found 100. And for all of them, we were able to provide the statistics. Okay, perfect. Here we have some problems. Here we have some problems because we were looking for 100 videos and we found just 2. That's strange, okay? Here, I want you to stop 1 second and understand, okay, when I'm collecting data, I really need a feedback, okay? So I need that my code tells me, hey, you wanted to take 100 videos, but at the end you got just 2. Okay, that may be a problem. Here, what happened? I mean, here, again, I will tell you, I will speak about it, I will explain you, but I also put everything into the notes there. So whenever you read the notebook, it's clear for you. Well, if you manually check, for example, TED-ED, you see that it's a really popular YouTube channel that has hundreds and thousands of videos. So it's unreasonable that you cannot find 100, okay? So what is the problem? well, here I wanted to highlight you that we are not using the API in the right way. So remember, I told you here we use search with no query and just providing the channel ID. I mean, it's reasonable. It may seem something not so bad. It's wrong. You shouldn't do that, okay? Because here, I thought, as I written down, it's like, okay, we are using search.list, specifying the channel ID, okay? But this is not a good way to getting all the videos from a channel, okay? This method should be used when you have keywords, what we were doing at the beginning. So all the videos about black holes, that's fine. Don't try to force and to use it for something else. Okay, all this stuff, but then how do I do it? I mean, which is the good way of retrieving all the last 100 videos from some channel? So here we have 2 steps, okay? The first one is like, we need to get the upload playlist ID. I never told you about playlist, right? That's true. Well, general playlist, I'm pretty sure what you know, right? A playlist about songs is like a place in which you list out and you save all the songs that you like. On YouTube, it's pretty similar, okay? For example, there are some YouTubers that at some point talk about AI, but some other times they talk about gaming. So they have a playlist that is called AI, and they have a playlist that is called gaming. But then there is a playlist that is very specific, and it's the upload playlist. What does it mean? That is a playlist that is by default kept by YouTube to take and collect all the videos that have been uploaded by a certain channel. And you already start to understand that, okay, probably that's the way of going. Okay, I have a list already of all the videos. Why am I passing through the search of YouTube to get videos? No, I have the list. Okay, so I have to retrieve that list. Okay, but probably I need a new function to do that. Okay, we can do it together. I do it for you. Okay, here you have the channel.list, which we haven't seen so far. Okay, but this one, this one together with the content details allows you to get the upload playlist ID. So let's make a step back. Let's not focus about the code and about the stuff. What we have seen and learned so far. So the search method is just for searching by keyword, by phrases, by stuff like that. If you need something specific, for example, you need all the videos that have been uploaded by a certain user, you need something else. You need the upload playlist. We can get that, okay? And that's the right way of doing that, okay? Then we can use this other method, okay, which is playlist item.list, which basically you have the playlist, so you know where to look at, but then you need the IDs of the videos within the playlist. So you need something else that tells you, okay, given the playlist, how can I get the all the videos? And that's that function does exactly that, okay? And then how we have seen 200 times, when you use videos.list, you get all the metrics that you may need. So the number of comments, the number of views, and so on and so forth. So here I wrote 2 functions, okay, that again you can use if you want, in which the first one gets you the playlist. So here it's not enough to have 2 steps. We have to have 3 steps. First, we get the playlist, okay? Once we have the playlist, we get the videos, okay? Because the playlist is the list of all the videos uploaded. We get the videos that we are interested in. And then we reuse the enrich function, which, given the video IDs, provides us all the specifics. Okay, so I will show you. I mean, the code, it's really similar to the one that we already have seen together for the bad version of the dataset. So I will not go through through it again, I will just highlight the differences, okay? You see that here we are changing the rationals, okay? So we get the channel videos, okay? And see that here we have playlist items. So we are doing something a little bit different. We are passing through the playlist, and that's the smart way of doing it. So we get all the videos that have been uploaded, we get the ERDs, and then we get the statistics. Okay, so to cut, let's say, the boring part, now we see that, okay, still, for the first one, we found just 96 videos. We will see later that it's reasonable, okay, because there are just 96 videos to be found, so you cannot find more. But see that where we had the problem for TED-ED and for She Show, now we have 100 videos. So we solved the problem of before, okay? So now the data set that we have saved is the final one, okay? So now we have finally the data set. This part was a bit long, maybe a little bit boring, but it's crucial for two reasons. First of all, we have put everything that we learned together, okay? So we knew the search, we knew the videos, at least we used them to collect the data. And we were able to get our own data. I mean, we ended up with this CSV file, okay, that was called shecom.youtube.csv, and there we have all the information that we need. In some minutes, we will see how to read that, but we stored it, okay? And the second important thing is that always be aware of what you are doing. I mean, before, we understood that there was a problem because we were printing, okay, I was looking for 100 videos. I got 2. Why? It's strange. I mean, try to follow the process, okay? Doesn't matter that you understand line by line the code, but understand at a high level what you're doing. When we found the problem, okay, we said, okay, that's a problem in the way we are searching for data. Then we refined our methodology and we found good functions that were able to find all the 100 files, okay? Okay, so now we finished with the data collection. We more or less understood how to collect a data set. We have it stored in locally, and maybe there is the second break, or?
Yeah, Franco, if it is possible. And we have also a question in the chat.
Yes, please. Sorry, I didn't see it.
It asks, is it possible to add locations, example influencer and viewer active engager location? You can see from the chat as well.
Well, locations to the query, yes. There is one of the options. I think I wrote it down somewhere. One of the options, here you have region code, and you are able to specify, to some degree, the location. And here, as I was telling you, I put some parameters, but you may have even more. So, for example, you can control the region code. You say, I want just the Italian stuff, but the language I want to be, English or Spanish. So that you can do. About the second part, I didn't get it well. So example, influencer and viewer active engager location. Can you elaborate on that? Sorry.
Mohammed Amdani Hussein, are you here? Mohammed Amdani. Maybe there's an internet problem here for him.
Yeah, maybe we can do the break.
Okay, good. Yeah, so you were supposed to, sorry, I was waiting for you to allow me to unmute me. So I think you have answered my question, but what I was just saying, so we extracted the comments. So is it possible to get the comments of the location of the people who are also commenting? Because let's say we want to do some analysis for Turkey, and let's say the video producers are located in Turkey, but the people commenting probably they are viewing from Italy.
That's interesting. I don't know. I have to be honest. I can check it, but I mean, if I have to guess it, maybe not. But it could be. Remember, in the second notebook, we have just scraped the very high, let's say, simple things about the comments, or basically just looking at the comment. What you would need to do is like in this, let's say, comments variable to see which kind of, maybe you can even do it right away. Let's see. Okay, I have to run first this part. Okay. I'm also curious about that because it's an interesting question. Okay, this shouldn't be necessary. Okay, let's see. Okay, no, I need also the previous one. I need to run it all over again. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Let's see here. This maybe gets just the comments. The idea is like when you don't know something, there are two ways. One is like playing around a little bit, and the second one is like there are always very good documentation of the code, and you can look it up. But here, for example, you see that you don't have that kind of information. See here, just to give the context, here you have all the comments listed, right? But you have just the video, the author, the text, number of likes, when it's been published, and the number of reply to that comment. So I think that you cannot get it, okay? Sometimes they do that for privacy reasons, and so because then it may be too easy to point to specific people. Okay, thank you so much. And there is also another question. Okay, another good question is like, okay, about the keyword driven search. How would you be able to minimize the impact of the YouTube algorithm in the search results that then you get? Well, the answer is usually it depends. Of course, if we look at the let's see all the ordering options that we had. So, of course, relevance is not to be used, okay, because relevance is the one that uses the algorithm. What you can do, it's probably ordering by date if you have a specific time frame. So if you really want to see the videos that are published in a particular month, you just take all of them or the most recent one in that month, and that is the least the most defensible in my way, in my let's say in my mind. But maybe there's always a trade-off, because maybe you can defend better your choice, but you get just junk videos or videos that are not very important. There are millions of people that are uploading on YouTube, so the best course of action is like, okay, make a trial, maybe do ordering by date, and then take just a specific time frame, maybe 1 week, even 1 day, and see what happens. What is the magnitude? Are there thousands, millions of videos? And then refine in the process. There's no one single answer, but I would say that, of course, try to avoid the relevance one, and try maybe to go with the date one, okay? if it's satisfactory, tell me. If it's not, ask me further questions. I'm here. I'm willing. I'm glad to answer.
Fatih's family, if you want to speak.
Thank you, Franco. Yeah, I think you are right. I should just basically, based on my my research topic, I should just basically check date and few other options to just see like which one is clearly helping my goal. And then I have a time limit like from 2020 to 2027, and I'm trying to basically retrieve a kind of balanced sample for my topic. And thank you very much. Thank you very much for your answer.
No problem. No problem. Thanks to you.
Thank you.
Okay, if there is no any other question, we can go for the break.
Okay, let's start. So, answering the question that I have in the chat, somebody asked me what is the usual procedure about the comments that have been written in different languages. Okay, and that's an interesting question. That there are at least two answers, and it raises also like a kind of red flag. Okay, the first consideration that I want to make is that usually the huge majority of comments are in English. Okay, so one approach that is kind of typical is okay, I try to detect the language, I choose the comments or whatever things are in English, and I keep those. Another approach is slightly different and maybe makes a little bit more sense, is that I take all the comments and I try to translate those. Okay, so the English comments stay in English, and whatever other comments are tried to be translated in English. Why in English? Because it's the majority class. It's the majority language used. So then you need to have a common vocabulary. Whatever analysis you do, you need to have a common vocabulary. Of course, then there is an entire body of literature that focuses on, let's say, all the other languages, okay? Because what works for English, even from the analysis perspective, may not work for other languages. Not only that, also, if you are completely different alphabets, to do something, right? So it's a bit tricky question, but what I would say is that either you try to translate or you drop it, unless you are focusing on a particular language, and then you try to keep just those of that language. I hope I kind of answered the question. Okay, if there are no further curiosities of question, I would start with a couple of slides. Those are going to be the last slides, and then we are going to dive into the last part of the notebook, okay, in which we are going to carry the analysis. It's going to be a very high level analysis, also because those kind of visualization and whatever are very well managed by any language model, okay? So Gemini, GPT, whatever. If you have the data, then, saying, hey, please print me some distributions, some summary statistics, or so on, it's kind of an easy task. It's not that easy for us, but for those are piece of cake. Whereas the part of the collection, trying to understand what are the right tools to use, that's a little bit more tricky, and I wanted to stress that as much as possible. But we have our data set that basically is a table, or it seems a table. We're going to see it also shortly, how it looks like. The big question now is that how do we analyze it, okay? Because we would like to see some patterns, some regularities, something, okay? Now we just have numbers inside a file. This is not interesting. Okay, so that let's jump into the last part, that is like data analysis, okay? So how to analyze the data that we have been collecting together. I kept it simple, okay? And I'll try to tell you just the most important things, and then we will see everything in action in the examples. So as computer scientists like, now you know that we tend to have pipelines. So we have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, or whatever. Here I even use the colors, and I put in light blue the things that are more, let's say, done without computer science, okay? So the problem formulation, problem definition, it comes from the researcher, it comes from the industry, it comes from wherever, but like, okay, you have a problem. You have to understand what is your problem. That seems trivial, but you understand what you want to solve or what you want to address. Then you have always the data collection that, as we have seen, it's like a difficult part, okay? It's not that easy to collect the data. You have problems with the term of service of the platforms. You have problems in actually collecting the data. You have mismatches. You have to be careful. We have seen some stuff so far together, okay? And then there is the focus of now, that is the data analysis, in which always we have as first step the data cleaning, okay? We have somehow touched that we collect the data, but the data that we collect may be not clean, okay? So we may get the data from YouTube, but then we have missing data. We have stuff that are strange, I don't know, mixing formats. I put, I don't know, day, month, year. You may put month, day, year. I mean, those things that seem, okay, human immediately detects those kind of mismatches are big problems for any machine and any type of analysis. So you need to clean your data, you need to understand your data. So the first part is both exploratory in the sense that, okay, let's understand what I collected. Does it make sense? And cleaning. So let's prepare my data for the analysis later, okay? Then there is the actual data analysis, which is like, let's collect some summary statistics, for example. Let's see distributions, let's see correlation. So I don't know, I have the price of an apartment in Milan, and I have the scholarization of some people. I don't know, are those variables correlated? Maybe not, but okay, if I have those data, I should have a way to visualize and compute those things, okay? We will make some examples together. And then there is visualization. I put them in a box because usually data analysis and visualization go together, because you can analyze the data, but then a good way of analyzing the data and understanding what's in your data is like to visualize it. When you see dots, when you see lines, when you see histograms, when you see tables, you kind of get the patterns that are in the data, okay? So those two things are really bounded together, okay? And then the last part that maybe is the most important one, the one that usually social scientists are way better than computer scientists in doing, is the part of result interpretation, understanding what, okay, this pattern makes sense. How should I change my pipeline, my research methodology to get something that actually makes sense and it's in line with what has been observed in the past. So let's start from the first part, okay? We said that we have data cleaning. I think that is almost always true, is that raw data are not really ready for analysis. So when you get your data set, the data set should most of the time not be used for immediate analysis, okay? What you should do is like prepare it, put, let's say, manage some inconsistencies and get a clean version of your data, okay? So You may have errors while you are downloading. It happened many times, even in our research lab, that people were collecting data sets, but for some reason, in some moments, the system that was downloading the data crashed. And if you don't check for that, you may have incomplete data. Okay, you may have some fields, some data that have been wrongly recorded. Okay, so there was maybe even a human that put the wrong number inside and really does not make sense. I don't know, you get some negative volume, you're measuring some length and you get negative length. Okay, a negative length does not exist. Okay, so you should discard those kind of things. As I was mentioning even before, you may have mismatched data, so you may write day and month, or in some other cases, you may write month and day. I mean, that's a huge problem because the 5th of July, you write it in two different ways, 7-5 or 5-7. That's maybe a problem. You have to to have consistent, let's say, terminology in some sense. And so there are some standard steps that you can always do, okay? For example, you have to handle missing values. So you collected the values, the views, okay? Maybe for some records you don't have the views. What shall you do? One option is to remove, okay? So whenever you have a video that does not have a view, okay, that's something strange. You may remove the record, or you can do other thing. In machine learning, one thing that you do when you have missing data is that you substitute the missing data with the average value. You can do many things. It depends on the context, but the idea is that you may have missing data. You should handle those, okay? Another thing that happens most of the time is like you have duplicate values. So the video before about, I don't know, the climate change thing, you may have two records with the same title and with the same exact metrics. Okay, that shouldn't be there. You should cancel it, okay? You should clean it. And then you can have more subtle things. Here I put an example. One can be a string, okay? So what you type with the keyboard, but can also be a number. For us, it's obvious to understand that one is one. But for when you're dealing with a machine, a string is very different from a number. And so if you have mixed data types, then you don't know what to do, okay? We said that the other step is data analysis, and the goal of data analysis is usually to find patterns, trends, repetition in the data, something that you can observe, okay, or answering your questions, okay? And here is the part in which there's not a fixed blueprint. You kind of have to explore yourself, okay? It's a part that is very interesting because your curiosity, your ability to things outside of the box, it's very important. But I mean, can we do something that is more standardized? Yeah, well, yes, because what you usually do, the first thing that you get a data set is like, let's get some summary statistics. So I want to know the mean of the likes of the videos of a certain channel. Okay, that makes sense. Why not? How much on average is important or is followed that channel? Let's do it. You can do the standard deviation, you can do a lot of things, but then you can analyze this time series. We have said that even on the YouTube data, you have always the date in which the video has been posted, so you can follow that series, okay? And then here I put some general plots. You can do correlation plots. So you try to understand whether one variable, one aspect is influencing another. We are going to see one of those in the examples. Or you want to see the distribution. So you have a channel that posts videos. You may be interested in the distribution of the views. What does it mean? is the channel getting always almost the same views? So I don't know, 1,000 views more or less, so 1,001 one time, another 1,010, and so, or is the channel getting very few views sometimes and has some very huge and popular videos some other times? With the distribution, you see that, okay? Because you count how many times an event occurs. And then, of course, we will skip it, but basically we have seen it in the winter school with text. You may have some advanced machine learning and AI techniques to look into the data and find a pattern in the data. And yeah, last we said that there is visualization, which is really bounded together with the data analysis, and it greatly helps. We will see that we will also in the simple data set that we collected together, you already see some patterns, some interesting things. I mean, not big deal. You cannot write a paper on that, but you know, for a couple of hours that we have been together, it's already something. And here I wanted to put like a classical example, which is pretty interesting. And here there is the link to the Wikipedia page of this example. And this guy found strange behavior, okay, in which he took 4 data collections, and these data collection have exactly the same mean, the same variance, the same correlation, and they even have the same regression, linear regression line, but the data look like this. Okay, so you see the orange data, which are the data points, and if you take the summary statistics, well, it seems to be the same, exact same stuff. But if you visualize it, you see immediately that those are very different data. Okay, so this is just a remark to tell you, okay, visualization is vital. It's very simple to do once you have your data set, and just look at it, okay? Look at scatter plots. You're going to see some together. Look at histograms, okay? Look at all this kind of information. So this should be, okay. This was the last slide, okay? I have some backup slides for some advanced topics later, but now let's try to focus on the last part of the notebook, okay? I will ask you if you have questions, and in the meanwhile, I will share the other document. So if you have any question, please just unmute yourself and ask me whatever you want. Okay, so let's proceed, and in case interrupt me or at the end we can discuss. Okay, so we are at the end and at the meat of this session. Let's do some data analysis, right? Okay, so again, I showed you the pipeline, but here I want to be a little bit more specific. So the first thing that you should do is like look at your data. It seems strange. I mean, it seems even obvious sometimes, but it's very important that you look at your data. Okay, so this is like some setup. Okay, not very important. The important thing is here. Okay, here, as you see from the function, you are reading your data. So it's very simple to read the data. Here you read the data, and here you print some information of your data. But you can see that this is what you see, okay? This is a piece of your data. So, for example, this is what we collected together. You have the channel name, so kurz gesagt, okay, the one that we were discussing before, and we were interested in the title of the video. We wanted to know when the video was published, okay? We wanted the view count, we wanted the like count, and we wanted the comments, okay? Here, we already see something interesting because we see that there are no tags. This is one of the situations I was mentioning you before, that okay, when you get data online, you're not guaranteed to get all what you think, okay? Sometimes there's no tags, okay? Missing data. One of the things that we should do is like acknowledging and handling the missing data, okay? And so this one allows you to understand a little bit what's the content of your data already at a high level. Everything went smoothly. Do I have something that is strange? This is the very first step to always do. And then you can do some more, let's say, advanced stuff in some sense, because you can use the info function, okay? Again, ask Gemini to say, hey, please load the dataset and tell me and print some information about the dataset. Here you see something that is, I mean, kind of obvious. For example, you see that you have view count, which is an integer. Okay, that means it's a number. Okay, the views should be numbers. Okay, and you see also something else that is interesting. That is, okay, here we have tags. And here it's like tells you how many videos, okay, we are collecting videos, how many videos do not have the tags. And we can see that, okay, since the total is almost 500, here we have 400, and many videos are missing the tags. That's already something that, okay, it comes from the data collection, but we have to keep that in mind, okay? We're already seeing something just by a couple of plots that is worth noting, okay? Okay, this is something that I always do. When you collected the data that you think you have done something, just check that that's the case, okay? So we know that we wanted to have 100 videos for each of the channels, and we also know that for this channel, we were able just to collect 95. If we use this function that is value counts, we can see that, okay? We have 100 videos for each of the channel, except one that has 96. Okay, we didn't do huge mistakes. We are on the good track. Okay, here there's a little bit long part, which I don't want to go too much into the detail, but I just want to give you the idea, okay? So probably this, just reading at, let's say, the description, it's already enough to get the sense of what you should do, okay? So one problem is that everything, I mean, many things are strings. Strings here, I mean, my name, Franco, is a string, okay? A number usually is not a string. A number is 1, 2, 3, whatever. But of course, if I write Franco 1, 2, 3, that's an entire string, okay? The fact that you can have sometimes a string, sometimes a number, sometimes something else, it's a huge problem, okay? You have to take care of it. So, for example, here I say if you have mismatching types, you may have problems, okay? You don't have to understand the details of that, but you just have to know that that's a problem. So when you prompt Gemini, you say, hey, I want to clean my data set. Please remove the duplicates, handle the missing values, and handle the types mismatch. So, I mean, of course, then technically it's more difficult. I should tell you about all the way you can convert the data. It doesn't matter. Just know that it's a problem that you should address, okay? And so, basically this part, okay, it seems long, but it's actually not doing much. It's doing all these kind of things, okay? So let's take an example here. Here we are converting kinds to numeric values, okay? And here again, there is a problem with none or zero. Doesn't matter. Just say, hey, Gemini, please take care of the missing data and convert all the values to numeric, for example, okay? And then probably the part that is very much worth discussing is this one, okay? Because we said that we were interested in the engagement, okay? We have seen before in the data that we don't have immediately the engagement. We have the likes, we have the comments, we have the views, but we have to derive this kind of engagement metrics. You can choose the engagement metrics that you prefer. For example, what I did is like, okay, for me, the engagement is the number of likes plus the number of comments divided by the views. This tells you somehow, compared to all the people that are seeing a video, how many are somehow interacting with you, even giving you a like or commenting on the video. That gives you an idea of how much engaged people are to your channel, to your video. Okay, and that's something that we will look into in our visualizations. Okay. Again, here we even did some filtering. So in this process of cleaning and filtering and preparing your data, you can say, okay, I would like to exclude live streams or very long videos. Okay, so you say, I got all those videos, but I would like to drop, I would like to discard, I would like not to consider all the videos that are longer than 60 minutes. Perfectly arbitrary choice in this case. You maybe want to just focus on the short videos. So all the videos that are shorter than 5 minutes, you can do that in this stage. You collect your data and you can take just, small videos because you want to do short analysis. Okay. Here it's an important note, but I'm pretty sure that given the hour and the technical flavor of the thing will just confuse you. Just beware and try to read maybe offline this part. Missing values that are not there, are a huge problem, okay? Because you don't know what to put. I mean, you cannot just put it 0. I mean, if you have a value that is not there, one way may be to put 0, but not really. Think of the likes. If for some reason the likes were disabled and you couldn't get access, I mean, you couldn't read those, but somehow, I mean, there were likes, just you cannot look at them. Why you should put them 0s? You are introducing some problems, some external stuff in your data that were not there. So always handle with care with the missing data, okay? Here, as I was telling you, as I was saying shortly before, none means that the data is not available. For example, for the likes, it's like you're not recording or you're not showing the likes, but 0 means you have no likes. That's a huge difference. Okay, if you're not careful when you're dealing with the data, you may say, okay, all the nones, all the not available numbers are 0. You're doing a big mistake. Okay, so here it's just trying to consider and understanding the missing values. What we don't have, what we are missing, and let's look at this output. Okay, so let's focus on like tags and engagement rate. I mean, engagement rate, we have just seen that is derived by likes and views. So if something is missing in likes, is missing probably also in the engagement. So looking at this two, we see, okay, like count, we have just 2 missing values. Okay, we can drop them, no problem. It's not a big deal. About the tags, we have a lot of them. Almost 20% of the data set does not have a tag. Okay, so for the analysis that I did, I just did not consider tags. So we will be looking at the engagement. So we don't really have to drop those things because we have the likes, we have the views, so it's okay. But if you want to do something related to topic, you want to look deeper into the keywords, the hashtags of that video. If you don't have that thing, you probably need to drop the record. Okay. Okay. Now, the approach of the next 10 minutes is gonna be, okay, let's assume that we prompt Gemini to say, hey, I want this type of visualization. Please write it for me. Okay, we already have the data. We have seen together. We have loaded the data. We have prepared the data. We have handled the missing values. We have converted the timestamps and everything. So we have a ready to use and analyze data set. Okay, so let's look at something. Okay, just for fun. just to see which are the possible visualization and what this type of visualization may tell us. As I told you, the visualization are probably the most important tool that allows you to see patterns into the data. So the first thing is like, how many videos has each channel published over the years? Okay, and so we have a bar that corresponds to the number of videos that, for example, here it's the infamous Kurzgesagt. And here we see, okay, in 2020, Kurzgesagt was posting around 25 videos per year. Then a little bit less, then okay, something. And in 2024 and 2025, less and less videos, okay? I mean, 2026 is not done yet, so let's not make big assumption, but we see a decreasing trend, okay? Whereas for Shisho, we see that we have a lot of video in 2026, and we have kind of a lot of video in 2025. Okay, sorry about that. I can tell you that there are some problems in this visualization, and I mean, I purposely done that to make you think that you always need to be careful with the visualization and with what you are doing. Here it seems that the other channels, I don't know, TED ED, did not post any videos in 2024 or in 2023. Well, always remember that what we did when we collected the data was taking the last 100 most recent videos. And of course, I mean, if you go back just 100 videos, those may stop in 2026, 2025, or I mean, for this one, we're stopping earlier. But here, you're not taking all the years, okay? You are taking a fixed amount of videos. So, okay, this kind of visualization, it's interesting because it tells you something, okay? It tells you that this blue channel is dying, or at least is posting way less, and the other ones are much more active, but does not give you the entire picture. If you want to do a visualization like this, okay, what you should do is like, okay, for those channels, I get and I download all the video for 2026, 2025, 2024. Okay, so just to tell you, nice visualization. You can do it with Gemini in 2 seconds, but remember, be aware of what you're doing. Okay, here we have just 100 videos. So at some point, it makes sense to do a year analysis, but you don't have all the videos of a particular year. Thanks. Okay, so let's go to engagement analysis. Okay, so again, a question may be which channels are able to reach the largest audiences. Okay, that may be in terms of views. So you have many views, you are reaching with the videos many people. But then the question will may be, okay, but how much engaged, how much into the channel are those people that view the content? This is a little bit in the direction I was mentioning before, that okay, maybe you have a huge following, but I mean your users, I mean, don't really follow. I mean, they don't listen to you. You are a very famous person. You post sometimes, you reach a lot of people, but you are not. You have not a engaged following. Maybe you have just few people, but you have a strong community. Okay, let's try to see if that's the case in these data sets. Okay, so preliminarily, we see just the views. Okay, we see it in 2 different ways, and I mean, I did it this way because this seems 2 completely different plots, right? They seem to tell you 2 different stories. So, what are we looking at? Here, we take the view count and we take the logarithm. Sometimes you do that. I mean, especially when you have data that vary a lot, you take the logarithm, but I mean, that distorts a little bit your data. And here you see, okay, we know that Veritasium has the videos that usually get the more views. Here you have the distribution of the views for each channel. Then we have, okay, we have that Kurzgesagt and 3 blue, 1 brown. More or less, they have the same views, right? Because we see those distribution and we see that they are kind of overlapping. Whereas Shisho maybe is the one that is getting a little bit less views. Okay, but by using the logarithm scale, we are distorting our problem because see, I mean, the orange channel is getting many more views than the second, let's say the second ranked one. Okay, here we are looking at the median. So the median value of the views for Veritasium are like 9 million against 1.5 million. That's a huge difference. But again, according to the type of visualization that you choose, you may see slightly different things. So the usual suggestion is, since it's easy to, let's say, prompt and get this kind of code that allows you to do visualization, try to have many, okay? Try to do maybe logarithm, maybe a distribution, maybe another type of visualization, and try to really understand what your data tell you, okay? These tell us that, okay, this one has much more views than all the others, okay? But, okay, what about the engagement? Actually, if we look at the engagement, something interesting happens. Let's remember that the colors here, the red is consistent with the red that you see below. Huh? We computed the engagement. The engagement, we defined it as the number of likes and comments with respect to the views, okay? To understand a degree of, okay, how many of the people that you reach with your video are actually interacting somehow with you, are paying back you, okay? With a like or with a comment. Yeah, well, here we see something interesting. Remember this Shisho was the one with the smaller amount of views, median views per video, okay? Just to be on track. Oh, you see it here. Shisho, okay, not many people, I mean, a lot of people, but not so many as the other are watching the videos. But what we see here, this again is the engagement, okay, plotted in the box plots. If you're not familiar with box plots, they just represent distribution. So let's say the higher, the more engagement you have, okay? So this channel is the one with the most engagement, okay? Which was the smallest one in some sense, the one that was reaching the least amount of people. And this one was the most popular one, or at least the one that was reaching the most amount of users. So this tells you that, okay, it should be maybe investigated deeper, but maybe the user base of the first channel, the Shisho, is more engaged with the channel. So you have fewer users, fewer followers in some sense, subscribers, but they are more interested in your content. So I don't know if you are a marketing expert and you need to make a decision about which influencer to hire to, just say, okay, are you willing to advertise this type of product? Which one should I use? The one that is reaching a lot of people or the one that has an engaged user base? Open question, but again, with this kind of representation, you may see it. This is like another type of representation, okay, on top of what we have seen. We are almost done. I just wanted to show you like a scatter plot. Again, when you want to see some kind of correlations, you usually do this kind of plot, okay? Because here we want to see something that is very naive, okay? We want to see if the views are somehow correlated with the likes. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because if more people view your content, probably you will get more likes. I mean, there is some kind of relationship, right? Because if 10 people watch your content, you can get maximum 10 likes. If 1 million people watch your content, you're probably going to get more likes. I mean, there is this kind of thing. Of course, it's not one-on-one. There's not a fixed percentage of people that do that kind of stuff. But here we can see that, okay, it's like the more views you get, the more likes you get, okay? And that pattern is pretty consistent with within all the channels, okay? This is like a way to say, okay, I have views, I have likes. What is the relationship? Usually you have variables that are more meaningful in your research, but this thing is the one that I usually do as first all the time when I want to try to understand if there are some kind of correlation and relation between variables. Okay, this again, I think there are just 2 other plots. The last one I will not comment on it. I will just say something about this one. Here I just reported the top 10 most viewed videos. Okay, we said that the orange channel was the most popular in some sense, the one that was getting much more views compared to the other ones. But here it's interesting that my favorite YouTube channel, if you remember, 3 Blue 1 Brown, which is again another channel that I chose a bit arbitrarily, has the most viewed video. Okay, then again, it's just a simple / stupid observation, but here with this representation, you can see that even though this channel is consistently better in getting views than the other, this one has a very, 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 very popular video, which is usually called an outlier. Okay, this is something that in this way you can easily see it. Okay. Okay, so with the part of data analysis, I would say that I'm done. I have just 3-4 more slides, but I would like to ask you if you have any type of question or curiosities about this part. And also, before anyone says anything, I would like to thank you because I know that here it's late, but there is even more late. So I really appreciate that you bear with me till now. So thank you for that. Okay. Okay, so I will bother you with the very few 4 slides. It's just, a pointer for the forward because I hope we learned something together today, but as always, there is always a lot to learn. So let me just show you a couple of things and then I'm done. I will take questions and whatever, but I would be done with the content. So let me share again for the last time. Okay. So, I think you see my slides. Okay, but what about images and videos? We talked a lot about metadata, text, and stuff like that, but what if I want to, see the videos, get the audio? Okay, is it possible? Well, yes and no. We have seen that there is the term of service of YouTube that really constrain you in doing just few things, but also analyzing images and videos and audio, it's tougher. When you look at the numbers as we did today, you see correlation, you see some patterns. It's already very interesting, but it's in some sense easier than looking at patterns in images. That's very nice. And I'm pretty sure that with audio, you're going to do that. And it's something that is very interesting, but it's also a little bit more advanced. Okay. So again, working with videos and audio is challenging, probably the topic of one of the next session. But what about getting data? Because, okay, then I need something. Well, at least for, doing some type of research, or maybe, even just to, even just playing around and having a playground for, trying your new skills. As I was mentioning earlier, you have this very huge data set about YouTube video, okay? And as you can see here, this is an interface. There is a download button. You can download whatever you want, but you can even filter for, some kind of topics. It's like a rich data set that contains videos, audio, and also has already tags to say, okay, I want just car videos, or I want music videos, these kind of things, okay? So if you need the data and you want to do it cleanly, you have it there, for example. You can always try to scrape it yourself, but I mean, I wouldn't suggest it for the time being because it's against the term of service. You can do it, but just if you need it. Let's first try to see what's already available, okay? And this is a really good source in my mind. Okay, so yeah. But then when I have a video or I have an audio file, how to get a transcript? Well, when I started my PhD, it was something really challenging because I was trying to do it for the lectures. I was recording the lectures and I wrote a program that was using a Google API to do the, let's say, the transcript from audio to notes. It was working terribly. Not terribly, I mean, it was kind of reasonable, better than, doing it by myself, but was not working very well. Right now, there are some tools. One is Whisper, that I don't know if maybe you will use it and see it in one of the next session, but I mean, these are really easy to use. And since they are based on transformers, which are, I mean, state-of-the-art technology, they work very well. So, I mean, if you have some audio that you need to process, you can have a look at it. Probably you will learn it in next sessions, and you get really good and interesting results. Okay, and with that, it was my last slide. I would ask once again, if you want to ask something or discuss about something, I'm here.
There is one question on the chat.
Yes, sure. So the question is like, here, I was just doing something for purely for, showing different things. So not in a, I mean, in a rigid manner from a methodological point of view, but the fact that I have videos on different years, of course, may be a problem, right? So when you have to do a data collection, you have to understand if having videos spanning more years may be a problem. For example, it is not a problem if you have a stable number of subscribers, okay? If you have a stable number of subscribers, maybe it's not too big of a mistake mixing up different years. But if you take a video of 10 years ago and you try to compare it with a video of last year, in which you went from 10 subscribers to 1 million subscriber, then it really does not make any sense. Usually, when we do data collection, what we do is like, we take one window, okay, for example, 1 week or 1 month, in which we see which channels are active. So we kind of collect the active channels. When we know which channels are active, then we say, okay, these are the IDs of the channels that are actually posting and they are alive. Then we take 6-month period or 2 months, depending on what we need to do, 1 month maybe, and we collect all the videos that those people post on those months, okay? And so then you have like a reasonable data set which takes channels that are active, that are posting content, and also on the same support, the same time window. So sure, you should do like that. Very, very good point.